Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the ultimate podcast experience for all you football fanatics and wrestling enthusiasts out there. Get ready to dive deep into the world of sports entertainment as we bring you the one and only King Smarks podcast. My name's Chet Von Chetsky, and I'm here with my friend Hoovy, and we're here to discuss all the football, wrestling, UFC, everything going on in the sports world today. Hoovy, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good, brother. How about you?
I'm doing great. We had a good weekend of football action this past weekend. What do you think?
It was great, man. Football was very entertaining this weekend. A lot of stories.
Oh yeah, it was. What were your big takeaways so far? Anything jump out to you off the rip?
My biggest takeaway was those Cowboys look good, man. I mean,
they do.
I'm not a Cowboy fan. I'm not a Cowboy guy at all. I despise the Cowboys, but they look good. I mean, if Dak could keep up and not turn the ball over, man, those guys are scary. Yeah.
And Michael Parsons is an animal.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
He was on the Pat McAfee podcast today show. He was talking about how he just goes into like serial killer mode out there.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
You have to.
And then after he got off the show, even AJ Hawk was like, dude, I saw it in his eyes. Like, I was scared.
I love AJ Hawk.
Yeah, AJ Hawk's a bad man.
He's great.
Yeah. Let's see here. All right, so we're going to start off with our top 5 teams from this past weekend, and then we're going to go into our bottom 5 teams. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with my 5th team of my top 5.
So
I got the Baltimore Ravens, number 5. And I might have them higher, but J.K. Dobbins going down really puts a damper on them going, down the stretch. He was going to be their bell cow, I thought. Then I got the Philadelphia Eagles at 4. Then the Dallas Cowboys at 3. I couldn't put them at 1. I just couldn't.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I got the Miami Dolphins at 2 with that offense. Mike McConnell, he's a genius. And then I got the San Francisco 49ers at 1. They've overall, top to bottom, in my opinion, have been the most dominant football team in all 3 facets of the game.
Nice. Okay. I have the same teams, but in different order.
Oh,
except for the Ravens. Ravens I have a number 5. And the reason I have the number 5 is all around they're doing great. Odell going down at the end of the game, I think really hurt them, especially because they have so many injuries coming around. But Lamar, I just don't trust Lamar just yet. Number 4, I have the Dolphins. The Dolphins, their secondary, man. Their secondary is questionable to me because they let Mac Jones come back, and I think that I would have had them higher if their secondary was good. For number 3 was the Eagles. They didn't look sharp in the beginning of that game, but after that, I think it was more of the Vikings just kind of shooting themselves in the foot with the Eagles coming back. Number 2, I have the Niners because that team overall looks great, but the Cowboys number 1 because that again, like we said, Michael Parsons is killer mentality, and that
he's a monster.
He's a beast, man, and that defense is going to create so many nightmares for everybody.
I mean, it's going to be a big time battle between him and T.J. Watt for Defensive Player of the Year.
Oh, 100%.
Because you got to think T.J. Watt's on pace for 34 sacks.
I mean, he already broke the all-time Steelers record. Oh no, he tied the all-time Steelers record with James Harrison. With,
yeah.
82, I think, 80 sacks.
80 and a half, something like that.
80 and a half. Yeah, it was crazy, man.
Pretty impressive seeing as how he's only been in the league for 5 years?
5 years, yeah. It's insane.
It's insane.
That whole Watt family. I mean, look at J.J. Watt. That guy's a monster too.
The brother's also on the Steelers. He plays fullback.
Yeah, and J.J. Watt can still play at a high level if he wanted to right now.
I was honestly shocked he didn't go to Pittsburgh for one last year on a veterans minimum deal just to play with both of his brothers. I thought it would have been a cool little narrative.
Just the leadership he would have brought to that team would have been phenomenal.
Yeah, but that offense got a lot of problems, and it starts with the offensive coordinator, Matt Canada.
Oh yeah. Ever since I think I saw a stat saying that since 2021, every team in the NFL has had 400 plus yard games of offense, except
Yeah.
for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, at
I'm
least
a
three,
Steelers
400
fan.
plus,
That's terrible.
at least 400 plus games for every team except for the Steelers since Canada took over.
Wow,
That's insane.
that's crazy.
All right, who do you got for the bottom five?
Well, all right, I got one honorable mention, and I don't even think they're a bottom five team. I just think that their coach is constantly going to keep them in mediocrity because he is so poor at late game strategy, and that's the Los Angeles Chargers as my honorable mention.
Okay.
I mean, they figure out a new way to lose every week. It's comical.
Yeah.
I mean, me and my brothers, we just sit back and just laugh. Every week they figure out a different way to lose a football game that I've never seen before.
I mean, they look at that last year's division, the wild card game.
Yeah, last year, taking the tie with the Raiders.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So they can make the playoffs too, or something. I can't remember how that went. Yeah, Brandon Staley, he's on the hot seat.
Yeah, I agree.
There's a few coaches on the hot seat right now.
I agree 100%.
Let's see. All right, my fifth worst team, I got the Arizona Cardinals, and they're actually playing with a lot of heart, playing a lot harder than I thought they would, because I figured, like we spoke about earlier, they were going to tank and just give in. But, Joshua Dobbs, he's a ball player. He's not going to go out there and just loaf around. He's trying to compete for another job somewhere else. So, but they still got a lot of problems to shore up. But then next, I got the Denver Broncos strictly because Russell Wilson, even though he had that Hail Mary at the end of this past game to pad his stats, I just don't see it with him with the Broncos. I think they're going to get to where they need to be, but I don't think it's going to be with Russell Wilson. He's not that guy anymore. He's more worried about Team 3 or whatever it is, and what's happening there, and sending out positive vibes. You know what? I need you to score fantasy points, buddy. Yeah. All right. Next is my third worst team. I got the New England Patriots, and it pleases me so much to say that.
Okay.
Yes, because they may not be the third worst team, but the way the Belichick's coach teams have been executing in the second half of these first two games puts a smile on my face due to the fact that over the past 400 years, they didn't miss a beat at any facet of the football game. And I like the fact that they're not doing that well. Call it just pure joy for me and spite.
Yeah,
but that's just how I feel.
I feel you, man.
But to get back to the real numbers, the number 2 worst team I got this week after 2 weeks is the Houston Texans.
Okay.
And I think C.J. Stroud's actually playing well. They're letting him throw a lot.
They are.
I think he has 91 pass attempts over 2 games as a rookie.
I mean, he had 47 pass attempts against the Colts.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous for a rookie. Almost 400 yards passing.
Yeah. But the problem with the Houston Texans starts with upper management. Well, they just got new owners, didn't they?
Well, yeah, and I think
so they're in that transition of new life in the building.
Bill O'Brien screwed him over with the Hopkins pick and getting the trade with the Cardinals giving up the first round because now that Cardinals are they want to tank and they're hoping that Houston finishes the bottom of the chain too because they want those back-to-back 1 and 2 picks because they have Houston's first round pick. So you got Cardinals potentially if they tank you have to try to go after Caleb Williams from USC.
Yeah,
that'd be nice, but we'll see if he wants to go to the Cardinals.
Yeah, because he's already said that if he doesn't like who the pick is, he'll just come back and play again because he's getting paid enough as it is to play college football.
Yep, just like Eli Manning did, or the Manning kids. Make his dad go make him trade just to the Giants instead of
Yeah, he
San
didn't want to
Diego.
play in San Diego.
No.
All right, then as
It
my
worked for
worst
him.
team in the NFL, I have the hapless Chicago Bears.
Ooh,
They
yeah,
are dog shit.
they are. They are
Justin
bottom for sure.
Fields, everyone had him as a dark horse, preseason MVP, sleeper. And that dude couldn't hit water if he was standing on the beach.
I agree with you on that one. Um, my bottom five, I have Denver as my 28th spot, and
Oh,
just
okay.
same thing you said. I've been saying this for years. My buddies are finally catching on. No one likes Russell Wilson.
No.
Not his teammates, not the coaching. Pete Carroll didn't like him. The Seahawks gave up on him. You hear what Sean Payton said after the game on Sunday? Talk about
Oh,
how,
I remember reading it. What was it?
yeah, talk about Russell Wilson needs to get better. Basically, just that's really what he said, and he wants them to start wearing a bracelet because Russell Wilson just, he gets the plays called from the headpiece. He doesn't call any audibles or anything like that because he doesn't have the plays on his wrist. So it's like you got to start forming something, and then that Hail Mary. So if you notice the 2-point conversion that they try to do, uh, I feel like the nightmares are still haunting them from that Patriots game, the Super Bowl.
Oh,
You
they
know,
are.
he threw that pass. Even though that pass at the end, I feel like they missed the refs missed the call with the pass interference. You can tell the defender had his hand under the shoulder pads when he was trying to catch the ball. But still, nightmares are lingering Russell Wilson. So I had them at my 28. My 29, I have the Cardinals because obviously living in Arizona, you hear everyone trying to talk positive about them, and you do see it when you talk about the positivity of the Cardinals because you can tell like the team is playing with guts, like they're playing their hearts out. You can tell that at least from the player standpoint, they're not tanking. Now, coaching wise, I don't know because they didn't make any adjustments in the second half of that game versus the Giants. But Jonathan Gannon didn't make any second half adjustments versus the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. So that's just is it tanking or is just Jonathan Gannon just bad coach? He's a rookie coach, so we'll give him that. My number 30, I have the Panthers because the Panthers just look god awful.
How did I leave the Panthers off my list?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I mean, I
think it's because I hadn't watched Monday Night Football yet when I made my notes.
Okay. Yeah, that game was so boring, man.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah, that game was just it was just so bad. We were watching that game and I just zoned out completely from that game. But yeah, the Panthers just looked bad overall. Frank Reich, I mean, being with the Colts for a while, just his play calling was just obsolete. Like it's just not meant for current NFL situations, especially with the personnel that he has there. And the defense is just non-existent. Like it just feels like they can't
defense
stop
is all they
those.
got.
Yeah, it just and
Burns is a beast.
And
flying around.
And even if their defense is strong, it's still not like compared to the
no,
rest of the league. It's not.
I mean, you can't win games if you're only giving up 15 points a game, but your net average is 12 on offense.
Exactly. Now, I thought about switching this over, but with this next pick, but I have 31 the Texans because the reason I have them so low is because of that trade I'm telling you is that Bill O'Brien screwed them over. Like they're basically playing for the Cardinals right now, and if they're tanking, then or they're playing horrible, it's because they're just trying to help the Cardinals get that other pick. And last, I agree with you. The Bears, Justin Fields is just god awful. Like I'm watching him play, and so I bought the NFL Plus. I think I was telling you over the weekend. It comes with Red Zone, $15 a month. It also comes with this tool that lets you watch every play, like if you're studying film. So
the NFL 22, isn't that what it's called?
Yeah, the NFL 22.
Yeah.
Which is that's what I was watching a little while ago, which took most of my time. Justin Fields just doesn't turn. Like he doesn't use his peripherals. Like all the sacks that he took, he just wasn't even paying attention to anything. And it's just, come on, guy. Like, you've been playing this for years. Like, you can't turn your head just a tad to feel the pressure that's coming. It's like, come on. And then, to be fair, that offensive line is pretty garbage. But the times that the offensive line did well, like Justin Fields just doesn't get rid of the ball. Like he just, and when he runs away, you can tell when it's a run option, because he'll run immediately. That's when he pays attention. But when it's a pass play, he just does not turn his head at all.
And he had one horrible play where he went to go. He looked at his primary receiver, who was wide open on like the 2-yard line with nobody around him, and then checked down to double coverage and then threw it in the ground. It was terrible.
It's embarrassing. It is embarrassing.
Like I saw a TikTok of someone doing that play with the Curb Your Enthusiasm music.
Oh yeah. It's so stupid. I love those memes.
Yeah.
I love those memes. But that's
we agree the Bears absolutely suck.
The Bears absolutely suck.
The Bears. All right, let's see. I got my winners and losers from this week. My top performers.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. We got the big game, Mike Evans. He had 6 catches, 171 yards, 1 touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Huge ball game for him.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got the rookie. I don't even know if he's a rookie. Puka Nacua, is he a rookie?
He's a rookie, man.
Okay,
I
had Cooper Kupp.
Yep, I have him as my winners too. I figure we could I can share this note that I had. I don't know if you picked up the stat, but Puka Nacua, or however you say his name, he's the first rookie to have 10 receptions and 10 plus receptions and 100 plus yards in his first 2 games as a rookie.
That's impressive. He had 35 targets after 2 games.
He's the first one to ever do that.
35 targets. In a PPR league, those are huge statistics. He's got 25 catches for 266 yards after 2 games. It's like Cooper Kupp isn't even missed.
It's insane. And of course, we all had him in our fantasy lineups this week.
I know. I went to go pick him up after last week, and you already had him, son of a bitch. Hey, it's all right.
You're welcome.
Both my teams are undefeated right now, so still
nice.
going strong.
All right, my fantasy is taking a dive.
Dude, you've had a bad stretch. Aaron Rodgers, Nick Chubb. That's brutal.
It's brutal. It's very brutal. But one of my team names is my Chubb hurts, and Chubb really hurts right now.
Your Chubb does hurt.
Chubb does hurt.
Yeah.
So Puka Nacua, he's someone to look out for.
Yeah, he's getting targets in PPR league. Those are big numbers.
Yep.
Another one I had, Nico Collins.
Nico Collins, yes.
He had 9 targets, 7 catches, 146 yards, 1 touchdown. That's a monster game. And then I had Keenan Allen, 8 for 111 and 2 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
He's been productive. But here's the problem with the Chargers, especially if you're playing any kind of fantasy or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Is 1 week it could be Mike Williams, 1 week it could be Keenan Allen. Or right now it can't be Austin Eckler, but they have so many weapons that really it just comes down to the most memorable part of the game is how do they screw it up at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody does something new every week.
Agreed. Who else you got for your winners?
And then my last winner, I had Kirk Cousins. Just based off, he had 364 yards and 4 touchdowns, scored almost 40 points in fantasy. Yeah, he didn't win the game, but he's not the reason. His fumbles are the reason, but outside of that, he gets some turnovers cut down. The Minnesota Vikings will be just fine. Everyone's already throwing them under the bus, saying they're done. I've seen people say that 5 wins is their ceiling. That's ridiculous.
Well, their rushing is horrendous, and I think that's their Achilles heel right now because they only had 9 carries versus the Eagles, and that's just unheard of.
That's huge.
Yep. So for my winners this week, for my first one, Baker Mayfield, man. that guy looks really, really good right now. And not only as a player, but as a leader. Like, he's constantly hyping everybody up out there. He's taking blows like crazy. He took a nasty hit with one of his throws to Mike Evans, and I'm just like, man, just to stay in the pocket and take that hit as you're throwing the ball. Like, Baker with the Browns wouldn't have done that. So he's my first winner. I had Puka Nakua as well. I got that kid it just came out of nowhere, and it's just
I never even heard of
going
him in
crazy.
college or anything.
No, neither have I. Which is great. I don't even know. I don't even know if he went on. I think he went undrafted too. Yeah, Nico Collins. I had him as well because he just came out of nowhere. I think he got drafted to 2021. He was a first round pick, I believe.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see here. And Anthony Richardson. I had him as one of my winners because I, as a Colts fan, have not been high on Anthony Richardson. And out of the four QBs, the top QBs that got drafted this year, he just looks like, he has he's been level-headed. Those two rushing touchdowns in the first half were just incredible. And in my last one, even though I still doubt him too, but C.J. Stroud, we were just talking about him earlier, almost 400 yards in the second game of the season versus a pretty mediocre Colts defense was very impressive. I mean, he was bringing them back. He kept them in that game, which was very impressive.
Oh, he's been very impressive over 2 weeks.
Yeah, very. What I did have for him is, like, it just looks like him. He has first half jitters. Like, he looks very nervous when he's out there in the beginning of the games.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that. He comes out a little shaky.
Yep. Very shaky.
Then he gets his footing. Gets that little halftime pep talk.
Yep. And those hits, bring some sense into him. He took some nasty shots, man.
Yeah, that's going to catch up to him too.
Yeah. He had 6 sacks for 47 yards lost. That's not that offensive line just needs a lot of help.
That's an understatement.
Yeah. Understatement of the century. What about your losers?
I got a few losers this week
for you.
My fifth loser of the week is just the New England Patriots organization. Everything about it, I love what's happening. I love that the Patriots fans, nothing's going their way. They're never happy. Their coach wins them 6 Super Bowls. And he has 2 bad years. Well, they screwed up drafting Mac Jones. He has 2 bad years. Now they're almost about to start calling for his head. And that's just ludicrous to me.
Yeah.
That man has a lifetime contract, as far as I'm concerned. It's like Mike Tomlin. He hasn't won a Super Bowl since 2008. He should either retire or resign. I don't think he should ever be fired.
Yeah.
For what he's done for their organization. But fourth, I got Kansas City Chiefs starting right tackle Jawan Taylor.
Oh,
man has 5
Let's hear this.
penalties.
Oh shit. Okay.
He had one time he got 3 false starts, an illegal procedure, and a holding. And on the illegal procedure, he was damn near lined up in the backfield. Which, if you watch the first Thursday night game, that's all they were talking about all game is how he was basically playing slot receiver. But yeah, that's the most penalties for an offensive lineman or any player, individual, since 2016. 5.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's insane.
And then I got Brandon Staley, the coach of the Los Angeles Chargers, my number 3 loser of the week. Because, like I said earlier, he somehow figures out and manufactures a new way to lose a game every week. And it's almost just as entertaining as him winning the game, really. Because I got no scratch in the game when it comes to the Chargers.
Yeah.
So if anything, it just makes it more entertaining for me.
I don't
But
think I've
man,
ever.
if you're a Chargers fan, that's got to be tough. The way the last season ended, the way this season started, they were another one of those AFC fantasy or AFC sleepers to go to the AFC Championship.
But
But
you know what?
I
But you
mean, they
know
can
what?
still turn it around. The Bengals started 0-2 last year, and they won a division.
Yeah.
So it could anybody. Speaking of the Bengals,
I was gonna say, but you know what about the Chargers? They have pretty cool Twitter videos. That anime intro videos for when they released their
the
schedule was pretty
schedule,
dope. Yeah,
yeah,
that's the only thing
that
they
was
have
pretty
going for them.
cool. They figured out a way not to fuck that up.
Yep.
All right, well, number 2 losers of the week are Bengals fans
Mm.
because they see their quarterback finally get paid. He's back on the field from his strained calf. First day of practices, OTAs, I think it was. And they pay him $275 million, and he has looked terrible.
Mm.
And that's not all his fault because he hasn't gotten any reps. He hasn't been out there with the boys in the trenches during all those hot summer days when they're getting ready for the season. He didn't get any preseason action. So I think he'll be fine, but he might be out for, strained calf. Could be 3 weeks.
Yeah.
You come back too early, it puts you out another month. So, and then my number 1 loser is the worst quarterback in the NFL, Mr. Justin Fields. Like we discussed earlier, as the Bears being our number 1 loser or 32nd loser, however you want to look at it, he's not good. He makes poor decisions. He looks like a deer in headlights out there. Last year when they were at their peak, when he was having those monster games, they were running more running plays for him.
Yeah.
The offense was more designed off of a RPO, scheme, and now they think that he's matured 1 year and he could stand back there in the pocket, but he can't make the reads. He's missing wide open guys left and right. Fumbles. It's just not good. If you got a worse loser than him this week, I'll be surprised. Unless it's somebody on the Panthers, because I forgot about how bad they did.
I mean, my losers. I went a little bit on the more, not just the teams itself, but just outside of the organizations. My number 5. I don't know if you heard this one or the Bills. This Bills fan that. So he was caught in a ditch in a construction site. I guess he was going to the Bills game, but he was found naked and full of shit.
Yeah.
You hear about that?
He was on like LSD.
Yeah, he was
weed,
on coke,
meth.
LSD. So that's my number 5 loser because come on, Bills fan, like all this Bills Mafia. It's like, dude, come on, it's a little embarrassing. I saw a guy had a newborn baby put his baby through a table. Like, come on, like relax, Bills fans. Like you're gonna kill one of you guys is gonna kill yourselves one day.
Well, on Pat McAfee today, he was explaining it to AJ Hawk, and AJ Hawk's like, "How did he get it there?" And Pat McAfee's like, "I don't know, man. I guess he put his hand on his ass, shit in it, and rubbed it all over him."
That's
I don't know what to tell you.
Apparently, from what I saw or what I read, is that he was in a porta potty, and he put himself in the porta potty.
Oh wow!
And that's how he was full of crap.
He's full of crap.
My number 4 is Bill Belichick. Jesus Christ, Bill Belichick. Like, okay, so what does this guy do now that what's Bill Belichick known for? His defense, right? Where the hell is his defense right now? Like, they aren't doing anything right now. They're along with the Panthers, they're probably the most boring team so far. I know we're in week 2, but they're just boring to watch. Like, we were just talking about this, my buddies and I. It was so, that Sunday Night Football game was so brutal to watch. The last 10 minutes of that game on the clock, anyways, not the actual 10 minutes. It was entertaining because Mac Jones came back, but without Brady, Belichick is ass. Like what is the purpose of him? Like obviously he wants to chase John Shula's all-time wins record, but to what degree do you keep him in that organization? My number 3 is Zach Wilson, and I wrote in my notes, Zach Wilson is ass. Come on, this guy went 12 for 27, 170 yards, and just doesn't produce anything. He had 3 interceptions, and those interceptions were very, very, very bad. Some of those interceptions was just. I know they're trying to. Sorry, I'm probably gonna edit this out because my dogs were barking there.
No, that's cool, man.
But yeah, Zach Wilson's ass. He had 3 interceptions that the 3 interceptions that he threw, they were just all his fault. Like, sometimes you have to discredit the wide receiver because the wide receiver made a mistake, but these interceptions were just like he just throws them directly to the defense. And don't get me wrong, the Cowboys defense is great, but if you're throwing balls directly to them, then you're just ridiculous. My second one is my second losers of the week, and I say losers because I hate how Philadelphia fans treat the Eagles. If you watch the beginning of the Vikings Philly game, when Justin Fields couldn't produce anything, the fans were booing them. It's like, come on, fans! Your team just won a Super Bowl within the last few years. Your team went to the Super Bowl and lost by barely lost against the Chiefs. So the Chiefs were playing phenomenal, and you boo them in the first 2 drives of the game. Like, that's just ridiculous, Philly fans. Like, come on, get your shit together.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
They're rough up there in Philly, dude.
They're very rough, but come on,
and Chicago.
Yeah, but Philly fans are notorious. I think they're more notorious.
Oh yeah,
they're ridiculous. And then my number 1 loser of the week, I didn't get any names, but did you read about that Dolphins fan that murdered the Pats fan at the game?
Yeah. Well,
so they got into a fist fight. The Dolphins fan hits him so hard in the head that the guy just out. He's gone. And that's my biggest loser. It's like, come on, guys. Like, you can't take football or anything so personal to where you're gonna commit, a murder at a football game of all places. It's like that's my loser.
I don't think the guy was looking for murder.
No, he wasn't.
Old man took 2 socks to the noggin and it was lights out. Father time. But yeah, they shouldn't be fighting. That's not good.
That's not good. That's
such a bad one of the witnesses said it didn't even look that bad.
No, but that's like
the video.
You should never. The video.
You shouldn't fight at the game. Don't get me wrong.
You shouldn't. Yeah, you shouldn't fight anywhere. To be honest with you, but because you never know. Yeah, one little hit, one little. thing
you fall and hit your head on the armrest of the seat you were sitting in.
But yeah, those are my losers. I went a little bit unorthodox here because.
No, I like it, dude. That's great.
I found it a little more.
No, he thought outside the box. That's what I'm talking about, brother.
yeah. Because that Bills fan was pretty good. I like that.
Expanding.
Also, for one of my winners, I had Aguilar catching the football for a touchdown.
Oh, putting 2 hands on the football? That's impressive for him.
That was my honorable mention because of all the teams he could have gone to, and he had Lamar Jackson throw him a pass and he caught it for a touchdown. That's a winner right there.
Yeah, that's pretty damn good. I've seen him drop a lot of passes. He was on my fantasy team a couple of times over the past 5 years, and every time just nothing.
That's hilarious. That is hilarious.
Let's talk about got some little tidbits of information from this week.
Okay.
For the first time ever, 7 teams from the same conference are 2-0.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's the NFC.
What are the teams?
Oh shit. Well, let's see. The Falcons, the Saints, the standings, Buccaneers. Yeah, 3 of the teams in the NFC South are undefeated.
Yep. And the Commanders, wow.
You got Dallas, Philly, Washington,
mm-hmm.
Atlanta, New Orleans, Tampa Bay, and San Francisco are all 2-0.
Which who'd have thought the NFC South was going to go 2-0? I mean, the NFC East, I could definitely see at least two, Cowboys and Eagles. But the NFC South having three teams that are 2-0 is great.
I mean, Sam Howell's out there playing some football out there for the Washington Redskins, and he's out there getting popped.
Brian Robinson. I mean, I
Yeah,
remember
he
when
game.
Jeez, but not just that. The size of this guy, like he is just a giant, man. It's ridiculous.
He also has one of the greatest entrances to a football game of all time. When he came back from getting shot last year and came out to 50 Cent's Mini Men.
Oh, yes. Yes.
That was awesome.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Got shot 9 times. That's funny.
Yeah, I thought that was an interesting stat. Another thing from this week, from the Rams game,
mm-hmm.
You know how they kicked the field goal? McVay decided to kick the field goal with 4 seconds left?
Yes.
Down 10. Nobody can figure out why, and they thought he was doing it just to stiff the bookies and the odds makers.
That's what we thought.
Well, actually, the man's a genius because he thinks about something no one else does. Because he's thinking down the line for points differential when it comes down to playoff seeding if there's a tie.
Yep. Because he knows how important, how competitive they're going to end up being versus the Niners and the Seahawks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that guy's playing chess and
he's playing the long game.
Yep. And
Brandon Staley can't even finish the fourth quarter. Sean McVay is worried about playoff point differential week 18.
That's great. You don't like the Chargers, do you?
Did you see what Dan Campbell said his daily routine was?
No. What is it?
Let's see. I got to pull up the picture because it's got the quote. All right, Dan Campbell, head coach of the Detroit Lions. I start the day with 11 raw ostrich eggs. The ostrich is a living velociraptor, and my body runs better with prehistoric alpha predator protein. That's just science. Then I knock out a quick workout, all glamour muscles. This isn't for function. This is for intimidation. When my biceps are blazing and my body is hopped up on dino protein, I make sweet love to Mrs. Campbell with a photo of the opposing team's coach taped on the bedstand and Steven Seagal movies playing on full blast. My theory behind that is if I can finish while looking at you, I can beat you. Again, science. This man is a fucking legend.
That's so stupid. I love it.
Oh, it's awesome. He makes sweet love to Mrs. Campbell.
How do you not rally behind that guy?
Oh, man.
Like, he came into Detroit a few years ago and just turned that team around. Look what he did with Goff. He's making Goff look like a top 10 quarterback right now.
Yeah.
And McVay couldn't do that.
No, McVay just had him serviceable.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Because you saw what happened. Stafford comes to town. He won the Super Bowl.
Yep. I'm happy. I was happy for Stafford for winning the Super Bowl. That guy's.
Yeah, he deserved it.
Yeah, he definitely deserved it, man. Kylan Granson's photo shot. Did you see his photo shoot? Excuse me. Did you see that? He's one of the. He caught a touchdown pass for the Colts. This guy took the touchdown ball and did a photo shot with the ball like it was his girlfriend. He had flowers. Yeah, he dressed up, went out to the desert or whatever, and took photos like he was a brand new mama, pregnant mama waiting to give birth. Awesome. It was pretty funny. I thought that was the noteworthy. Let's see. What else? Oh, fun fact. The last 3 games, because we were talking about the Lions, and when you mentioned Dan Campbell, it reminded me. The Seahawks and the Lions for the last 3 games, their over on points has been 67.5 for their last 3 games. That's crazy. That's insane for of all teams, the Seahawks and the Lions have one of the higher over on points than any other 2 teams in the league.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I found a guy with his shots and his pictures.
Oh, you pulled it up? Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks so stupid, man.
Uh, that's awesome. That's pretty good. He's just out there. He's got in a towel too.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so dumb, man.
I'm liking that.
Yeah, it was funny. Did you see the video of the Cowboys fans rushing to the standing area? I forgot to mention this when we were talking about the Cowboys earlier.
They showed it, but I feel like it's just the same one they've been showing for years.
No, this one's a different shot. Like
Oh,
the
is
one
it?
shot, yeah, the one where that became famous, that went viral a few years ago, was from the left side. This one is from the top right angle of the entrance. And it just, man, I hate Cowboy fans.
Are they running to get to beer faster, or is there a lot of standing room only seats at Cowboy Stadium?
It's a lot of standing room only seats.
Oh,
Their,
okay.
their their whole lower level is all standing room only. So a lot of people just buy those tickets and just stand there. And even if you buy like tickets at the way top, you can still just go there and stand there. I think, I'm not sure,
Hmm.
but
I'm like, unless they're hungry or have to piss, I don't understand why and don't want to wait in line.
yeah, no, I hate Cowboy fans.
You do like I do when I go to games. I roll in 3 minutes into the first quarter and just walk straight to my seat with no problems.
See, I'm a get there early guy. I'm gonna get there early before everybody else.
Yeah, I used to get there hour for the game, watch warm ups, but then that just means less drinking I got to do. So I ended up just staying, and then I get to the point now I don't even want to go into games anymore. I have a better time outside the stadium, tailgating.
Yeah,
Especially
yeah,
because you can have
that's
3, 4 TVs. Because when we tailgate for Carolina games, we'd be in like the motorhome lot.
uh-huh.
So it'd be everyone would have like 4 TVs outside of the motorhome. Everyone's got a grill and a smoker going. It's awesome. You don't even want to go in the game, and especially when you're a Gamecock fan and the results usually aren't that great.
Maybe it's time to switch teams.
Yeah. Uh, hey, I like what Shane Beamer's doing, dude. I'm pumped about him. We just we ran into a juggernaut called the University of Georgia. We
Yeah,
gave him some hell for a little while.
it,
Let's see.
it, it's so hard to come back against a team like Georgia, man. It's ridiculous. One of the things that I dislike about college football the most is just how lopsided things are. Like, I know they try to with the divisions, the conferences, they want to make it as competitive as possible, but when the teams control their own schedules, it's a little bit hard to get invested, at least in my opinion.
No, yeah, I feel you.
Especially now with them dissolving the Pac-12.
The
Have
Pac-2.
you, yeah, the Pac-2 now. Well, yeah, still Pac-2 no, man. It was funny because obviously, being Arizona, you got ASU, and all they talk about here is ASU, ASU, ASU. It's like, man,
The number one party school in America, brother.
God, number one party school in America. So bad. I hate ASU. Let me get started.
I do Arizona State. What's their football team doing right now? How are they after 2 weeks?
They're 1-2.
Oh, okay.
They're 1-2. But so when they played against Fresno State, I think this past weekend, they lost 29-0. I believe it was their first shutout in a long time. But they were playing with their fourth-string quarterback. I think he was a redshirt freshman. Like, this kid had no snaps with the ball. And the thing about ASU fans is that they're just so brutal with their team. There's a bunch of videos out there of ASU fans watching the Colorado game as they're at the stadium, which I thought that was a little
Oh,
pathetic.
damn.
Yeah, but that's the thing about Arizona, Chad, is that a lot of people that live here in Arizona. I would say a big chunk aren't actually natives. They're all just people from all over the country. So, like, if you go to a Cardinal game, and they play against the Carolina Panthers. You'll see more Panther fans than Cardinal fans.
Yeah, that's like Chargers games.
Yeah. LA in general. Like
Yeah.
LA teams, you have a fan base, but fans don't like to go to those games. And the reason behind that is you pay $20 for a Rams or a Charger game, right? The parking is $100.
Jesus.
So the parking costs more than to go to a game. And I'm not talking about the stadium parking. I'm talking about the parking just outside of the stadium. Like when we went to WrestleMania, we parked about a mile away, and the parking was $50.
Jeez.
That was still about a mile and a half away from the stadium. And it was at a school. It was at a high school that's down there. So yeah, parking is ridiculous out there. That's why those fans don't really go to the games, because why are you going to pay $200 to sit at the nosebleeds and then pay for shitty ass parking?
Yeah. I mean, they were talking like for the lowest season ticket for SoFi Stadium for Rams was like $20,000. I thought I saw.
That's for the Super Bowl?
No, for if you wanted season tickets to Rams this year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I saw like the lowest package. I could be wrong about this because I remember that the low, like if you just wanted 2 seats, it was $20,000.
Wow.
Yeah. I had so much. That's just me.
When I had season tickets to the Cardinals here, and we sat in the lower level, season tickets were about $600. This is years ago. We're talking about when John Skelton and Max Hall were the quarterbacks for the Cardinals.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were Cardinal teams right there.
Oh yeah. And poor Max Hall. He's the one that went. I think he's in jail for stealing or something like that.
Damn.
Yeah.
All right. You want to get into some wrestling? Some wrestling?
Yeah. Let's do our picks for next week. How about that? Let's knock out the whole football thing. I'm writing everything
pulled up.
I have them right here for you.
Oh, you do? That's what I'm talking about.
I'll ask you these questions.
All
right. So the first matchup, let's see here, and we're talking about Thursday Night Football. We got the New York Football Giants versus San Francisco 49ers. I think that's pretty much it.
I'm gonna have to take the 49ers here, but 10-point spread that's a big spread in the NFL.
Ooh, you know what? I don't have the spreads here.
If you go to ESPN and just hit scores, they got all the spreads.
Ooh, let me take a look.
Because I actually had that in my notes. Where is it real quick? Yeah, this week there are 3 double-digit spreads as of Tuesday or as of yesterday. And the Jags-Texans was 9.5, which I thought was high for Jags-Texans, but it would have been even higher if the Jags beat the Chiefs. There would have been 4 double-digit spreads in 1 week in the NFL, and anything over a touchdown is huge.
It's definitely huge. But at 10-point spread, what in the over 44.5?
If the Giants game would have ended in the third quarter this week, I would say I'd take 49ers with the points.
With the points?
Yeah.
All right. And just a disclosure, obviously these are just our recommendations.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know you have to disclose that part.
Yeah, bet at your own risk.
Bet at your own risk.
I've been playing daily fantasy, trying to win $1 million on DraftKings every week for about 8 years now. I ain't won $1 million yet, so.
Yeah. I you know what? I'm taking the Niners at 10 as well. To be fair, this is a reach, but I think if Saquon is healthy, I would take the +10.
I completely agree
on that. But what about the under? What do you think about the under? 44.5?
I'm gonna have to take the over.
That's a tough one. Really?
I think the 49ers are gonna score at least 28 points. Well, I guess that means the Giants got to score 20.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. Like I think that's a trap game right there, because
also depends on the weather. You know, if it's going to be like Miami, let's say that Miami's game this week is thunderstorms and rain the whole game.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen him mention that a few times on ESPN today. So that plays, huge into the over-under of how you think the game's going to go.
I think that it's going to go under. I don't think the Niners are a team that's going to keep gas on the pedal on the gas. I think they're a team that's just going to try to win comfortably, and that's it. So I'm taking the under 44.5.
All right, I'm going to take the 49ers. I'm going to take the over.
Perfect.
Yeah, let me write these down.
I got you. I'm writing them
Oh,
down.
okay, cool. You're the man. All right, so what's our next matchup we got there, my guy?
Next matchup is Colts, the 1-1 record versus the 2-0 Ravens. We got the Baltimore Ravens at -8 with the
Another
44
big
and a half.
spread.
Yeah, with the 44 and a half.
Is Richardson out?
Richardson, he was still on concussion protocol as of yesterday. I think he's back. I don't think that concussion really rung his bell all that too much. I think that what happened was, yes, he hit, but he got hit hard, and he basically whiplashed against that field, but he was playing fine throughout the game, and the Colts didn't really do anything about the concussion protocol until like closer to the half. So I just think that they were told by the NFL to say, hey, you got to check it, and if he shows any symptoms, then you take him out. So I'm thinking he plays. The Colts just, you can't trust Richardson's arm. I don't trust it. Like I said, I like what he's doing with his feet, but I just don't trust his arm. But nonetheless, I think Baltimore wins -8.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Baltimore's going to cover, even with all of Ravens' injury woes. I mean, the Colts.
What about I do think it's going to be a high-scoring game, though, so I'm taking the over.
What's the over-under?
44.5 as well.
Yeah, I'm definitely taking the over on that. Because, I mean, Lamar Jackson, as much as I despise the Baltimore Ravens as a Steelers fan, got to give credit where credit's due. And he's one of these weeks, he's going to have that monster 170 rushing yards, 5 total touchdown game. It's like it's got to happen eventually. You got to think. Or is he just another one of those guys that got paid and is just going to do just enough to maintain his job?
You know what? I don't get that feeling from Lamar Jackson. Like I think he's way overrated as a football player, but he does give me that humbleness about it. There's a humbleness about the kid, and I think that he's still going to play his ass off.
You don't win a Heisman Trophy if you don't have a little dog in you.
Yep, exactly. Agreed. Also, Heisman's a popularity contest. It's not really how good you are.
Yeah. Well, the year he won, there was nobody better.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, what we got next?
All right, next one is, let's see here. We got Titans at the Browns. We got the 1-1 Titans versus the 1-1 Browns. We got Cleveland -3 with the over-under at 39 and a half.
Ooh, 39. And
yeah.
I'm still tempted to take the under just because the Titans have looked abysmal on offense. Derrick Henry is a shell of his former self. He's now getting trucked by defenders.
Yep.
But the Browns, that defense is one of the top 5 defenses in the NFL, in my opinion. Myles Garrett is a monster. And even with Nick Chubb going down, I think Ford's going to step up big time. The Browns just had a visit from Kareem Hunt today, so it looks like they're trending towards re-signing him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's not a bad asset to have.
I mean, Jerome Ford looked great. Yeah. He looked super comfortable taking over for Chubb.
He wasn't no slouch out there, I can tell you that.
Yeah, he looked great. So you're taking the Cleveland cover?
Yeah, I'm taking the Cleveland and to cover and the under.
Okay. And the under.
I'm still taking the under on, what was it, 39?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
39 and a
this
half.
game has like 13-6 written all over it.
You think so?
Yeah.
All right. I completely went the opposite way. I'm
Oh, okay.
thinking that I think the Titans are going to win. The Titans, even though Derrick Henry, like you said, he looks like the shell of his former self, but they their passing game is it's not bad right now, and they have this kid, and I have it here on my notes, but I'm trying to pull it up right now. Um, Not Nico Collins. Who did the Titans play? Oh, they played against the Raiders. So they have this kid. When you get a chance, look this kid up. Wait, who the Titans played? Seattle. No, not Seattle. Chargers. Chargers. Uh, Look up this kid, Traylon Burks from the Titans, and
Yeah,
tell me he
Arkansas
doesn't.
wide receiver.
Yeah, tell me he doesn't remind you of a DK Metcalf. That guy's huge and can run routes, and he's fast.
Yeah,
You
he was
have
awesome at
him.
Arkansas.
Yeah, you have him and DeAndre Hopkins
6'2",
on the.
225. That's
Mm,
it's like some AJ Brown. I think AJ Brown's like 6'3", 230. So
yeah, yeah. So that right there just tells me, like, I feel like the Titans are going to take this one, and I think it's gonna go over 39 and a half because Deshaun Watson looked a little bit uncomfortable versus the Steelers, and I think that's just the norm versus the Steelers, especially playing in Heinz Field. I'm going to still call it Heinz Field. I don't care
it's
what it
an
is.
Acrisure now.
No. It's
No,
Heinz
it's still
Field.
Heinz. It's Heinz Field to
It's still
me.
Heinz Field, and I don't even like the Steelers, man. But
When a stadium's name has been something for my entire or more than half my life, and it gets changed,
yeah,
that doesn't mean
you're
it's
still gonna
changed for
call it.
me.
Exactly. I still call Lucas Oil Field the RCA Dome. It hasn't been the RCA Dome in a long time. But yeah, I think I'm taking the Titans, and I'm taking the over on the 39 and a half. I think Watson shakes off his first 2 weeks of jitters, and they're gonna go off.
So they're gonna have a big point. All right. I like it.
Yeah, I'm going that route. So plus 3.5.
You had some sound homework behind that, and I can't argue with that logic, buddy.
Yeah, I like to bet. I like to bet some money. All right, next one. We got the Falcons, the 2-0 Falcons with
Surprising
Desmond Ritter.
to the Falcons.
Desmond Ritter just came out of nowhere, bro. Just out of nowhere. And they're up against the 1-1 Lions. They're playing at Detroit.
The Fighting Dan Campbell.
They're fighting Dan Campbell and his ostrich egg eating.
Yeah.
With
While
the
he's
Detroit's
banging Mrs. Campbell,
with
giving her sweet love.
with the sweet love, the love making. The Detroit's at 3.5, and this is weird. The over under is at 46 flat, which I don't know what Vegas is thinking there.
Yeah.
But
I think they're thinking it's going to be a 23-23 tie.
yeah, right. And that's the first thing is like that's betting 101 when it's not a half point. It's because they're thinking they're going to tie. I don't see them tying. I think the Lions take it. I think the Lions are going to cover, but I think this one's going to be more of a lower scoring game. So I'm taking the under 46.
Under 46, yeah, 46 is a little high.
It is a little high,
especially for a Falcons game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with the Fighting Dan Campbell's and his Velociraptor eggs, and I'm taking them to cover with 3.5. I'm going to go with the under.
Okay.
Yeah. So we got the same thing on that, right?
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah. Nice.
All right, next one, next early game, which, by the way, living in the West Coast, and not just the West Coast, but in Arizona, because we got that Arizona mountain time. We wake up to football and we go to bed at football.
That's awesome.
Perfect. So these are 10 a.m. games for me. We got the 2-0 Saints versus the 1-1 Packers. You got the Green Bay is favored by 2. And the over-under is 42.5.
Well, the Saints they got some weapons, but Derek Carr, he made some very poor, questionable throws. I mean, there was one screen pass that if he would have completed, would have probably gone for a touchdown. The ball wasn't even close to the receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
But that's always been Derek Carr.
yeah.
Now on the flip
Jordan
side,
Love's looked good so far.
Jordan Love looks great. I was going to say Derek Carr. I saw the stat when I was watching the game. I don't know if you caught this, but only 4 players have had 35,000 yards or more passing in his first 9 years, and Derek Carr is one of them. And the other 3, I know Matt Ryan is number 1, Peyton Manning number 2. I can't remember who number 3 was, but number 4 is Derek Carr. So there's, he's severely underrated, but his decision making is what makes people turn against him, which is where you're touching base of what you were saying.
Yeah.
No Jamal Williams either. Jamal Williams is out.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with the Packers. I'm
Packers
covering the 2. What's the over under on that one?
It is 42.5.
I'm gonna take the over.
Okay. I also have the Packers at covering. I think it's going to be a high scoring game as well. Over 42.5, just because the like I said, I enjoy watching Love play out there.
He looks comfortable.
He looks super comfortable, and they're going to have Aaron Jones back this week, so
that's big.
I expect a big game from the Packers this week. Next one is the Broncos versus the 0-2 Broncos with horrible Russell Churchboy Wilson versus the 2-0 Miami Tagovailoa.
I'm going with I'm taking Miami.
Okay, they're minus 6.5.
I'm not choosing against them.
Wait, say that again.
I said until someone starts stopping them offensively, like they're going to put up points every week. Week 2 they didn't look as good as week 1, but it was still like that offense. Once anybody thinks that they got Mike McDaniel figured out, he's going to flip the whole script on him and do the complete opposite of what he's been doing all year. That guy, you ever listen to him talk?
I was just gonna say, did you hear him at the post game interview?
Yeah,
where he's like, he goes, "How hard is it to play against Bill Belichick?" He's like, "I play with Legos, and I found a girl to marry me. Belichick is easy." That's so great, man.
You see him race the cameraman after he did his halftime interview?
He's so weird, but I love it. Yeah. He's like I was just we were having this chat, me and my buddies. It's like if he was one of us coaching out there. Like, he's just so awkward and such one of the guys that. But the team rallies with them, and that's all you need, man.
It's like the NFL had a raffle for Madden players and was like, and he won to be a coach.
Yep. Not you touch on that. This is more soccer related or football. There was a guy. I know. Actually, no. This was NFL or football related. I can't remember where, but there was a guy who applied to be a coach for a football team, and his only experience was just playing Madden.
Huh.
Yeah.
Did they give him a look?
No. No. Don't get the fuck out of here. But kudos to the guy.
Dude, he might have the greatest season. Remember NFL head coach?
Yeah.
That stupid game. You didn't even get to play the football? And you stopped after you called the play?
Yep. It was fun, and then they got boring. After like 2 games, it was like, I'm done. Okay, so back to the Dolphins. So Dolphins are 6.5, and then the over/under is 48.
I'm not gonna take the Dolphins to cover, but I will take the over.
Okay.
I think it's. NFL most of the time, at least here's how I feel. Numbers might say differently. It's 3-point margins or less. A lot of the time.
Yep.
Really, winning by 3 is what I see happen the most, at least what I think. If I went back and
especially
crunched the numbers, I'd probably go back and look and see 3 teams won by 3 in the past 3 weeks, and I don't know shit. But
you bring up a good point because I think I agree with you. I'm taking Miami, but I'm not taking them to cover the spread. My sole reason is because the Broncos, after Sean Payton's talk about Russell Wilson and basically throwing him under the bus, uh, they're going to turn that team around this week. I feel like, they're going to have Sean Payton and Russell Wilson sit in a room and crack this shit out and have them come back. So I still take Miami to win, but yeah, they're definitely not going to cover the 6.5. I will take the over on the 48.
oh yeah,
All right, next one is your favorite team, the 0-2 Chargers, versus they're in Minneapolis versus the 0-2 Vikings. Now, this one's interesting because the line is even, according to ESPN.
both coaches' seats are heating up.
Yeah. The over-under is 54, though, which is
That's huge.
it doesn't make sense because how do you have it even and have the line so high where I don't think the Chargers offense is going to hang with the very underrated Vikings defense.
Yeah, I agree. But how many times did the Chargers play games that they lose 28-27? Stuff like that.
A
Yeah.
lot.
And that's 45 right there.
Yep.
I think the Chargers got to get a win. I'm taking the Chargers.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm still going
There's
to
no
take
line
the over.
technically. You
I'm going
take
to take
the
the
over
over
on the 54? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, you got some balls there, my friend. I will take the Vikings because it's not a primetime game. We know how
That's a
primetime Kirk
great valid
Cousins.
point there, buddy.
Yeah, you know how Kirk Cousins at home and the non-prime primetime game. He looks
I
like
think he's
Tom Brady out there.
1 in 1,000.
Yeah, it's crazy. But I will take the under on this one. I think 54 is just a tad too much. All right, the next 10 o'clock game. We have so many 10 o'clock games this week. Patriots at Jets. New England is favored by 2.5.
I am going to take the New England Patriots. Zach Wilson is garbage. That offensive line is garbage. They got some high spots like Wilson, wide receiver. He's going to be great. He's going to be awesome. That defense is a top 10 defense overall.
Yep.
Like if you break down on paper, you look at everybody, Sauce Gardner. I mean, they're phenomenal.
Yep.
But I find it hard to believe Bill Belichick is going to start a season 0-3. Do I want him to start at 0-3? Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
But then also, I don't want him to go 0-3 because I don't want him to go 2-14, get the number 3 pick after the Cardinals pick, and he finds his next guy and then dominates again for 20 years. Fuck. He'll be 97 years old winning his 13th Super Bowl.
Jeez. Hope not.
Yeah.
What about the over under? It's at 37.
Ooh.
This will be a low scoring game.
Yeah. I don't foresee the Jets scoring more than 17 points. And I don't see the pain. I'm going to take the under. I'll take the under.
Okay. Yeah. I'm taking the Jets to win because everything you mentioned right now is spot on. Plus, Breece Hall only had 9 yards rushing. And he already made a point. Like I don't know where he said, but he's like, we win the ball more. We would win if they give him the ball. And I think they're right. You have Dalvin Cook.
They got
Breece
2
Hall.
stud.
You got 2 stud running backs, and you have 64 yards rushing between them. Brees Hall had 9 yards rushing versus the Cowboys. Dalvin Cook had 7 yards rushing, and they
Rough.
each had 4. They each had 4 carries apiece. So you telling me that Nathaniel Hackett is just that bad of a coach that he's not going to give him the ball next week, especially against the Patriots defense that can't stop the run? I'm taking the Jets and the over on the 37 because I think the Jets are going to – and they're playing at home. That crowd is going to be hot. So that's my logic there. Bills at Commanders.
Hold that next thought for half a second, buddy.
Yeah, for sure. Move.
All right. What was that next matchup, my guy?
All right. Give me 1 second.
All right.
My dog is going crazy over here. All right. The next one, we have the 1-1 Bills versus the impressive 2-0 Commanders. And we have Buffalo at 6.5.
Wow, on the road.
On the road, and we have the over/under at 44.5.
Bills look good rebounding week 2.
This is. I think this is my week's trap game right here. I think the Bills are coming in supremely overrated versus.
And they think they found their swagger back after.
Yeah, because Josh Allen, he's going back to his roots of having horrible mechanics and just trying to.
Oh, he's out there playing huck'em chuck'em football.
Yeah, exactly. You can't play that against a Ron Rivera defense, and Eric Bieniemy's offense is going to just. I think that it's going to be a close game, so I'm taking the under 44, but I'm taking the Commanders.
Yeah, I am agreeing with everything you just said, and because I think the Bills are going to come in overconfident. I think they're going to think that they got their swagger back, and we got to remember they beat the Raiders. They didn't go out there and beat the Chiefs 38-10.
Nope.
No, they beat the Las Vegas Raiders. And I don't know what Mark Davis knows, but Chandler Jones is going to spill the beans one day. You seen that?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Oh, yeah. Chandler Jones, when he was in Arizona, he was just the god here, man. Like, I don't understand. Well, I kind of do understand what's going on because no one likes the Bidwells here. None of the players like the Bidwells, especially you heard about all that controversy they had with the Arizona Cardinals and how poorly they treated the players, charging them $1,500 for the uniforms.
Was the Cardinals ownership the same as the Phoenix Suns?
No,
that was different. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
they had that rap too.
Yeah. The Phoenix Suns had an owner that they basically ran him out of town.
Starver, wasn't that his name?
Yeah, Starver. And they brought in the new owner. I can't remember his name, but the new owner came in and just basically took over everything, like all the operations. They just announced this week that they're taking all the Suns games because they were all on cable, and he's putting them on local TV because he wants everyone to enjoy them.
Yeah, I saw that. That's awesome.
That's great because the Phoenix Suns has always been, ever since the Nash and Amari Stoudemire days with Sean Marion.
Those are awesome.
When there was the running gun with
the big cactus.
The big Shactus. with Mike D'Antoni. Those were good days, and those, people haven't been excited for the Suns in a long time. So coming in and taking over like that, but the Bidwells, man, are just horrible owners. They're one of the owners that I wish that they could run out just like they did with Dan Snyder, run them out of town because they messed up that organization, the Bidwells, with all their moves, all the upper management was just garbage. So that's a chat for a different day because I can rant all day by that. Let's see where we're at here. We're at Texans at Jaguars.
All right.
Ooh, what do you got? Let's see. Do you got Texans?
Well, listen. After week 1, I was all on the Jaguars hype train. Because Trevor Lawrence was my quarterback on my fantasy squad, and and then he just lays a dud against the Chiefs at home. So, I still think the Texans, yeah, they're going to throw Stroud out there, and eventually one of these days he's going to win them a game if they're going to keep letting him throw 47 times a game. Because he's not the one out there losing it for him, in my opinion.
No, he's not. I don't think so.
But I think the Jags are going to rebound from a tough loss to the Chiefs at home. I think they're going to take it against the Texans, but I do not see them covering 9.5.
I showed 10 on the ESPN.
Oh, you got 10? I got 9.5. I don't see them covering either one of those numbers.
Either one of them?
Yeah.
Division games are super tough in the AFC South. They're always so close, and I agree with you. I don't see them covering the spread, but I think the Jaguars as well are gonna win. I don't see the over under is at 44 even, and this is
I don't like
a
them
tough
either.
one. Yeah, I don't like them either, but this is a tough one because the Texans obviously can score points, the Jaguars can score points, but the Jaguars are less likely to score higher points. Like if I don't know, this is tough, man. Now I'm talking about my logic. I could definitely see the Texans winning because the Jaguars, when they can't score for crap.
No, they can't. There's nothing working.
But
you think if Trevor Lawrence isn't working, ETN's going to be able to just hammer the ball, at least give him 3 yards in a cloud of dust, and he's not even doing that.
Yep. I'm still sticking with the Jags. I'm sticking with the Jags, and I'll take the over on 44.
All right.
What are you taking on the over under?
I'm going to take the under.
Okay.
Yeah. I think
either
the Texans are going to go like put up 28 points, or they're scoring under 10. I just don't see an in between.
Going back to the Commanders, I don't think I caught this, but what's your over under on the Commanders and Bills at 44.5?
I can see that going over.
Okay, that's what I have too. When I have it under, never mind. All right, cool. Next one is Panthers at Seahawks.
Seahawks, tough place to play. They got the 12th man. 5.5. That's I'm going to take the Seahawks covering. What's the over under?
42 even.
I'm going to take the under as well.
For the Seahawks, you said what was that? You said the over?
I'm going to take the under.
Under, okay. I'm taking the Seahawks as well. They'll definitely cover the 5.5 for sure.
Oh yeah, they'll cover the 5.5, like a 28-17 type situation.
Yeah. 42. I'll take the.
Well, shit, 25-17 covers. Fuck. No, 28-17 covers.
I'll take the over on that. We'll mix it up a little bit.
All right.
Let's see here. Where is my? Okay, so this one is Cowboys at the Cardinals. Now, I just out of curiosity, every time the Cardinals are home, I always try to, because I love football. I go to Cardinal games because obviously I watch anything. I try to, usually Cardinals tickets for nosebleeds at the way top. I'm talking about the next to the Pigeon's Nest. We are looking at $20, $25 tickets to see any other team. $205.
Jeez.
To see the Cowboys play. No, thank you, sir.
That's how it was last year. If I wanted to go to a Falcons-Panthers game, it was like $17. But if I wanted to go to the Steelers-Panthers game, it was $197.
Mm-hmm. It's all those bandwagon fans, man. Let's see. So we got the Cowboys at -12 and the over-under at 43.5.
12, that's a huge spread.
Mm-hmm.
but it's not even the biggest spread this week. I think I'm going to take the Cowboys. I'm going to take them to cover.
Okay.
I can see them winning by just 2 touchdowns. No problem.
Yeah, Buda Baker's out. He's on the injured reserve. He's their best defensive player for the Cardinals. That team's just in shambles, but
What's the over-under on that one?
43.5.
I'm going to take the over.
Yeah, me too. I have it as well. Over.
Yeah, you can go ahead and mark me down as the Cowboys for 35 of those.
Yeah, for reals. Let's see here. What we got next is the Bears at the Chiefs. KC is 12.5.
Yeah, I'm
12 and a
taking the
half.
Chiefs to cover,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't even need to know what unless the number is super high for some reason, I'm going to take the over.
47.5.
Damn. They really know how to put that number right where you got to question it,
Mm-hmm. I mean, this is a game that I don't. It's so hard with the Chiefs because you have Matt Nagy calling plays for the Chiefs, and you can tell the difference is night and day between having Matt Nagy and Eric Bieniemy at
Yeah,
the
because
helm.
the enemy is huge for the Commanders right now.
Yeah, and look at the Chiefs. Like the Chiefs, that offense. The only thing they have going for them, besides from Patrick Mahomes, is the offensive line. Because look at Kelsey didn't even have a good game versus whoever they played. I can't even remember.
I mean, they've also only given
The
up 30
Jaguars.
points after 2 games.
Yeah. Well, that front line is defensive line for Kansas City is nasty.
Yeah. I mean, Chandler Jones is a monster. He was
Yep.
all over the place.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm gonna have to take Chiefs covering.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still going to take the over because I think one of these days the Bears are still going to score some points, even though they're still going to lose.
Yeah. See, I have the Chiefs, but I don't see them covering 12.5.
Plus, Justin Fields maybe playing against Matt Nagy. I don't think they saw eye to eye at all.
Nope, not at all. That's a revenge game for the Bears. Excuse me.
Yeah.
So,
So
but
you
yeah,
got to think they're
I
going
don't.
to come out a little more fired up than they would.
Yeah, I don't see Kansas City covering the spread at all.
No.
And not.
I'm going to stick with my cover, but I think it's going to be closer than. I'm going to roll with that cover, though. I still think the Chiefs could wallop them.
And I think this is a high scoring game. I take the over 47.5.
Yeah, I'll take the over as well.
Nice. All right, let's see here. Sunday Night Football. Steelers at Raiders. Las Vegas is 2.5 spread.
Yeah, that's pretty standard for the NFL. Similar records, anywhere from 3.5 to 2.5, 2.5 to 3.5 for a home team.
Mm-hmm.
Kenny Pickett is not. He's not hitting his marks, and Najee Harris. I don't know what's going on with him.
Too.
Yeah,
I'm taking the Steelers as well.
isn't that like a 13-10 final score?
Yeah, it's going to be brutal. Monday Night Football. What do you think about these double headers they're doing?
I thought it was a cool idea until I was trying to watch them at the same time.
Yep.
And the crazy thing is, you'd think while I got on Sunday one TV on Red Zone and the other two showing the other 2 games,
Mm-hmm.
but when I'm trying to watch 2 Monday Night Football games at the same time, it just wasn't working.
It's not. It doesn't.
And I'm not a big Dan Orlovsky guy, or Louis Riddick, so I didn't really even care to listen to them. I do like Chris Fowler though; he's phenomenal, play by play. But yeah,
Yeah,
I
I'm not.
mean,
I'm not
they're
a
doing
fan.
it because there's no new TV shows to put on ABC because the writers
Uh,
strike. That's why they're
oh
doing it.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
They could
that's the
throw.
only reason is because they don't have any new content where they would, normally be rolling out their new shows about this time of the year,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
season
you're right.
premiere.
Forgot about those. I don't watch TV, so I don't care about any of that shit.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't
I
care.
mean,
I don't. I don't care about the
I
writer's
really
strike.
don't watch any local TV like that. Yeah, I'm not sitting around watching Blue Bloods and Hawaii
Yeah,
5-0 after
Hawaii 5-0. Such stupid fucking
that
TV
shit is
shows.
dog
Oh
shit.
my god. I stopped watching TV when all these shows just became so freaking corny, and like they just force you to laugh with their laugh tracks and things like that. It's just like, oh come on, it's so annoying.
You ever see when they'll play a clip of a show, but they'll turn the laugh track off?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's so
awful.
bad. It is horrible. All right, we got the Eagles at the Buccaneers for the first Monday Night Football game on ABC.
Ooh, the 2-0,
The
surprising
two,
Buccaneers.
the two surprising
Yeah,
Buccaneers, but we
Baker
got
Mayfield, like you said earlier, he's looking good. He's out there
he's
pumped.
looking,
He's
yeah,
poised. He's getting everybody motivated. He's not sulking on the bench.
yeah. I mean, he's always been a good team player. Can never, can't take that, off of him. But I don't think they have what it takes to beat the Eagles.
No,
So
the Eagles,
I'm
Eagles
taking
look
Philly
too
to.
good
I take Philly to cover
because
5.
the Eagles' offense still isn't even fully firing on all cylinders yet. And when that
Nope.
happens, look out.
Yep, and DeAndre Swift is that's my. I didn't think he was going to do good there, but he looks like a stud out
Rashad
there.
White for the Buccaneers is going to be pretty good too.
Yeah, yeah.
He was pretty solid. I got him on one of my fantasy teams. He
What do you
worked out pretty well. I think he had like 15 point something points last week, so that's pretty good.
What do you think about the over under? It's at 46 even.
A lot of evens this week.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to go with the over. And I don't think Philly covers though.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it comes down to a one possession game at the end, and I don't see it being by more than 5.
Okay. I'm taking Philly to cover, and I'm taking the over.
All right, nice.
You said over too, right?
Yeah, I'm taking the over for
All
sure.
right, cool. And the last game of the week is the Super Bowl rematch with the Rams versus Bengals.
Now,
Uh,
is Joe Burrow playing? I think he's doubtful.
I
I
mean,
mean,
he was injured at the end of the game. You
hobbling.
saw him; he was hobbling. That offensive line just hasn't. That's their
No, they
Achilles
didn't
heel.
block for him in the Super Bowl.
No, that's their Achilles heel. Is the offensive line.
If they could have blocked for him in the Super Bowl, they would have beat the Chiefs or not Chiefs,
The Rams.
Rams by a touchdown.
I think they could have gone back to back, and I think they would have beat Philly if it was Philly and the Bengals in the Super Bowl. Bengals defense, their secondary is just brutal.
Yeah.
But Cincinnati's favored 2.5, and the over under 43.5.
If Burrow's out, I'm taking the fighting Matt Staffords.
Oh yeah.
And I'm gonna obviously they're underdogs, so they don't need to cover. And the over under is
43.5.
if Burrow's out, I'm taking the under.
I'm taking the under regardless.
Yeah.
I don't think the like I said, the Bengals secondary is good, and I don't think these no name receivers for the Rams are going to do anything versus that secondary.
Hey, don't you put some respect on Nakua's name, okay?
I mean, show me here's my thing with this kid is like, yes, it's the NFL and anything could happen, but a lot of times these little records that these rookies be breaking, they're just flukes.
That, and I mean, records are being broken more and more
Yeah.
with the changes of the rules. The changes of the
Yep.
rules are making uh, the number of for these plays to happen for the quarterback to be able to have the
Yep.
smallest strike, less than a strike zone in baseball to be hit. All the rule
Mm-hmm.
changes they make that favors the offense, records are
Yep.
going to continuously be broken.
And not only that, from a defensive standpoint, because I like defense. I'm more of a defensive minded guy. Is that you have way more coaches studying tape on each player, and I think that's what But I think it's a Belichick thing. Everyone picked up from Belichick is from studying so much tape from every single player, um, and that's what's going to stop this Pua Nakua from going. I hope I'm wrong, but from a defensive mind, I'm thinking they put an end to it. The Bengals do.
Yeah, somebody's going to figure it out,
Yeah,
but I think until then, you can never underestimate Sean McVay.
that's true.
I thought that offense was screwed when Cooper Cup has and it's like a genetic hamstring injury.
Oh, really?
Yeah, something like that.
Oh,
It's
I've
not just
always.
like something that's recently. It has something to do with a genetic issue in his hamstring. I don't know the proper medical term. I'm not a
Mhm.
doctor, and I've never played one on television. So,
I was just gonna say that you're not a doctor, but I don't play one on TV either.
yeah, but yeah, he got a bad hammy. That's what I know.
Okay.
And I guess it runs in the. I didn't know hamstring bad hammies ran in the family, but
I had no idea.
yeah,
Usually, bad hammies run in my family because no one runs in my family.
yeah, nah.
So yeah, that's what we got. That's what we got for the football. Let's see. Let's see how we do next week. Let's see how bad or let's see how
Yeah,
much money we
yeah.
win
We'll,
or
we'll go.
lose.
We'll break down our picks. See who did the best.
Yep.
See who did the worst.
Yep.
Absolutely. Keep a
All
running
right.
total all season.
Yes, I will. All right.
All right. So, you want to get in a little bit of wrestling?
I would love to get a little bit of wrestling.
Absolutely. Let's see.
Let's see. Let's start with the Friday Night SmackDown
All right.
with the return of The Rock.
Huge.
Huge, man.
Two big
And
returns to start that show, actually.
two big returns. And I'm gonna be honest with you, Chet. I've never been a Rock guy, even in the Attitude Era. I was always a Stone Cold Steve Austin guy. I always loved the way The Rock talked, but I never got excited to see him wrestle. And when I saw the report saying that The Rock is going to be a SmackDown, I'm like, okay, that's cool. And then he comes out. I actually popped. I popped because you you have all these people spending thousands of dollars to go to LA for WrestleMania because everyone thinks that The Rock's going to show up. Everyone spends all this money to go to Survivor Series in the 25th anniversary of The Rock, and he shows up to Colorado for people who paid $20 a ticket, and shows up to those fans. And I don't know if you saw the crowd, but the crowd, some people were crying, Chet.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought that was amazing.
I,
And Pat
I would have
McAfee.
lost my shit if I was there.
Oh, bro, I would have lost my voice. I would have cried. Would have laughed.
You see the guy on Instagram? He's like, I spent $2,000 on a ticket to see The Rock at WrestleMania 39.
Yep.
He shows up in Denver. These $20 jabronis.
Yep. That's what I'm saying. Because one of my one of the guys from the wrestling group we belong to, Bobby Soydam, he said the same thing. He goes, I spent all this money to come see The Rock, and I'm like, well, it sucks to be you.
Mark.
Mark, you fucking Mark. QMJF, you fucking Mark.
Yeah.
But yeah. I thought that was great. Pat McAfee. Now, I don't understand the heat behind Theory. That's just my opinion. I think he's a great performer. I think he's a great worker.
I do too.
And not a lot of people have a chance to to do what he's done. And in the modern era, there's only been, I don't know the actual number of wrestlers who've done this, but there's only been a handful who's actually had segments with The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin within a few number of years.
That's
insane. And John Cena. John Cena put this guy over. And the WrestleMania before that, he takes a stunner from Stone Cold Steve Austin. And then this week he takes a rock bottom from The Rock. I mean, what else could you ask for as a performer like him?
He also took two people's elbows.
Two people's elbows. I love Pat McAfee.
He's fucking awesome.
His entrance, man. His entrance is so cool.
Yeah. I've gone back and watched his entrance at WrestleMania 38 multiple times.
Oh yeah. I had a chance to speak with Pat one time over the phone one year. He was having this competition on the formerly known as Twitter. He had a competition where you just want to chat with Pat, and he just put on Twitter like what was his name of his dog back then, and I tweeted back because he had a dog named Snooky, based on the Jersey Shore, and he called me. And me and my sister me and my sister talked to Pat for like a good 10 minutes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's badass.
Oh man, and me being a Colts fan since I was a kid, like that's just great.
Oh, that's fantastic, brother.
Yeah, so Pat, I've been a huge Pat McAfee since way back when. Also, when I went to Indianapolis, I tweeted at him, and he recommended me to go to St. Elmo's out there in Indianapolis, and it's a steakhouse out there. And it's funny story. When I went down there, I saw Edgerrin James show up, and he was wearing this light blue, like short, like not shorts, sweatpants and a sweater. And then the next day, I got to see Andrew Luck versus Peyton Manning. That's what I went down there for. And Edgerrin James was wearing the same thing, and he looked hungover as shit, and he was on TV and everything. It was great. Gotta love Edgerrin James and the strippers, man.
Oh, that's nice. That's awesome.
Yeah,
hell yeah.
But yeah, what'd you think about the segment with The Rock? I thought it was great. I thought it was
phenomenal. Like you could see The Rock was milking every minute of it.
Yep.
Like he was trying so hard to keep a smile off his face. Like, and you could just see him soaking it in, and it was awesome.
Yep.
And the place erupted. I mean, it's the highest, most views on social media of any video this year at 103 million.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
that's crazy. And my the thing that I love was Pat McAfee's face in the background. He was marking out.
Oh yeah,
like it was great. I love it. So.
And he like when they keep doing the "you are an asshole," and he was like, hey, it's a 2-hour show, right? He goes, The Rock knows it's a 2-hour show.
I thought it was great when The Rock was talking and Theory just goes, it doesn't matter what you think, and I thought that was great because The Rock just looked completely.
I didn't see it coming.
I didn't see it coming either. The Rock just looked completely like deer in a headlight, and I thought that was a great moment for Theory. But then he gets his ass kicked. I'm gonna kick your ass in 3, 2, and bam.
That was awesome.
That was great. Next segment, and we had the Grayson Waller effect.
No, that was the main event, right?
That was the main. I don't know. I'm going based off how the highlights were.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I remember you saying that. Yeah, go ahead, buddy.
In order. So one of the things that I had here was the Grayson Waller effect, and it had Cena versus and Jimmy Uso talking. And, Jim Uso is what he calls himself. Now, he doesn't go by Jimmy anymore. Jim Uso. We're going back and forth with Cena. And one of the things I liked about this segment is Grayson Waller in the background was just like fanboying out too. Like he was instigating everything and it was great. Solo had a face off with Cena, which brought back memories of Umanga and Cena back then. And I call him Umanga because William Regal called him Umanga, and I thought I would never call him Umaga again, which that was great. Now, one thing that I noticed Chet, with this segment is when Paul Heyman and Solo Sikoa came out, when Cena was beating up Jim Uso. Cena was about to do the AA on Jim, and Heyman, you can tell on his, like, he was on the phone, which I would suspect is with Roman, because when he was on the phone, after, like, you can see him nod, and I was assuming that Roman told him, like, hey, save Jim because we're gonna need him, and it was like Paul Heyman's just great, man,
Oh, he's
because
phenomenal.
it's
Facial.
little things. Yeah, it's like him on the phone, like taking orders from Roman, which again, I was just speculating here. It just feels like he was taking order from Roman, and he told Solo to save him, and he saved them, and I thought it was great, which was great. Let's see. Then one of the segments was The Rock faces off with Cena. This is that one part where you're talking about with McAfee's like, this is a 2-hour show. It's like, I know it's a 2-hour show. And then Cena shows up, and McAfee's like, hey, he goes, there's a guy you can't see. And The Rock turns over and says, I can see him. I thought that was great.
Yeah, that was good.
I thought that was little small little quirks like that. It was good. And Cena was just trying so hard not to laugh, and Rock called him out on it, which is great. And I don't know about you, but the two fights of Rock and Cena.
You mean the twice in a lifetime?
The twice in a lifetime fights. They I think they got too much heat than what they deserve. I think as fans we're so spoiled with trying to see things fresh that we got two greats fighting each other back to back WrestleManias, and I think we shit on it too much than we should. It's just my opinion.
Oh, that 1 year lead up between WrestleMania 27 and WrestleMania 28, where they said what next year's main event would be on the Raw after Mania of 27.
Mm-hmm.
That whole year of promos, and then the Survivor Series tag team match with The Miz and R-Truth,
mm-hmm.
all the way to the Rumble against CM Punk. No, that was the next year. Sorry, but
no, yep,
yeah.
I was at that Rumble. That Rumble was here in Phoenix.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah, it was great because it was my first Royal Rumble, and that's the Rumble where Ziggler comes out and he's just talking crap, and he wants the next person to come out, and Jericho comes out, returns to the Rumble, and the pop was just
man, that's awesome.
I remember that pop. Yeah, that pop was phenomenal. And as soon as we found out, obviously, and I know leading up to everything, you kind of know what's going on, but the biggest downfall about that Rumble is when they moved The Rock and Punk to the main event, you knew Cena was going to win. And I wish they would have gone a different route with that, but they did what it did. But that match with Cena with the Punk and Rock was fun.
Oh, I bet.
But yeah, it gets too much heat, but that's no here or there. Next segment that I see here is the Lashley versus the Profits versus the LWO.
Oh, the Latino World Order.
The Latino World Order, which they're so cringe, man. As a
Wait,
Latino
aren't those
myself,
your boys though?
I was gonna say, as a Latino myself, it's kind of embarrassing, man.
It's gotta be because
it's a little cringy because I don't know, man. It doesn't feel organic. Like you have the Judgment Day, which the Judgment Day they at first it didn't feel organic, but now after a while they all seem to get along so well. And the LWO, those guys have been together for a long time, back in NXT, and
when they were Legado del Fantasma.
Yeah,
and they were way better then.
Yeah, and now they feel so forced and cringe, and that whole segment with Ray and Santos Escobar was again cringe because it's like
cringe is like a nice way to put it.
Yes, exactly.
So maybe like the softest way to put it.
The softest way to put it, because man, it's I would have preferred a turn right here, because
why is Santos Escobar not turned on him at all this entire time?
I think it's coming. I think the turn is coming because the way he asked for it was like, I want it. I need it. You're gonna give it to me. That's what I felt from this promo that he gave him. And then Ray was like, at first, you're asking me, like, he felt like betrayed, but then he's like, yeah, no, it's okay. I'll give you the title shot. And I think that's where the feud
and
thing
he's like,
started
man,
with
you
that.
remember that time I took your spot?
You remember the time
Yeah.
where I ripped my blouse? It's from Nacho
But,
Libre,
but it's
and everyone was
okay.
cheering for me.
It's mi familia. You're my new son. I lost my son at WrestleMania.
It's so cringe, man. It's the fool. Oh, so cringe. And the guy with the hat, I don't know his name, but that hat, those hats.
Well, it's I know their names. One of them's Raul Mendoza, and the other one's Joaquin Wild.
Joaquin Wild, the one that can't speak English, because he says something
Is
and
he
even I couldn't understand.
the thinner one or the?
He's the bigger one, I think.
The bigger one. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the little thicker one, because he says something that I couldn't understand. And the other guy with the thinner one, the one with the hat, he has a very punchable face.
He does have a punchable face, which is why he
Yeah,
works great in NXT as a heel.
exactly.
These guys are coming out smiling, selling ice cream bars.
Yeah. Now, and the other thing, the cherry on top is Selena Vega. She does not work as a face at all, and her just kind of just sitting there, like, she's gorgeous woman, but just as a face, she looks so. That whole group just looks so forced.
Yeah. I mean, if they came out next week and like whipped American Alpha's ass and turned heel, maybe they might have something brewing.
Yeah. But the Profits beat the LWO. The Profits, that finisher they have where it's like the sit down power bomb reverse RKO, whatever they do.
Yeah, I think it's like a power bomb neck breaker deal.
Yeah, it looks pretty legit. Now I know a bunch of us were hoping that Ford was going to turn on the other guy, but them as heels, I like it.
Well, but they're not really heels yet. Yeah, they finally did something this week where Bobby told them to beat them down.
Yes, this week they were heels for sure.
I need Bobby Lashley to come out, grab a microphone, and say the Hurt Business is back in business.
Yes.
That's what I want. That was my favorite part of the pandemic. The Hurt Business.
The Hurt Business was great.
Yeah. And do a Hurt Business with those two? Who knows? You bring Bianca Belair back as a heel.
Everyone's talking about Jade Cargill.
Yeah, Jade Cargill.
Jade Cargill is a hot rumor. That'd be awesome. Next thing we have is I didn't have any notes for this one because it was just a regular AJ versus Finn Balor match. Finn Balor beat AJ with the distraction from the Judgment Day.
No way.
And that was just kind of bland.
Yeah.
It was just bland. Like,
well, I don't know what's going on with AJ Styles because I feel like they're building him up for a match with Roman Reigns just because of his involvement with Solo and.
Yeah, I think he's coming up. I think they're going to have
like he might get it at like Crown Jewel.
Either at Payback or at Crown Jewel. I think it's going to be a tag team with AJ and Cena versus Roman and Solo. I think that's where they're leading up to.
I don't think Roman's back on TV until like October.
Until Crown Jewel, they said, right?
Yeah.
When's
Crown
Payback?
Jewel after. What's next?
I think Payback's next.
No, we just had Payback.
Oh, did we?
But it's something like that. Roadblock, but not Roadblock.
Oh, jeez. You know what? That's a good thing. I don't know what premium live event is coming up.
I know. I actually have to pay for Peacock now.
Oh,
it used to be provided as my cable, but that ended.
Oh,
yeah. So when I went to go watch Payback, I had to drop $9.99 real quick.
Oh, jeez. I do the one with the ads because the only difference is that you don't see the promos for the pay-per-views, like the build-up promos that they have. It's just okay. It's just the commercial. What's the next?
I missed the network.
You know what? I have that app that I was telling you about, and
Yeah,
that has the network.
that's awesome. I just missed the
Yeah.
network for its search functionality.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
searching
Me too.
on Xfinity Peacock app, it is like I hit the button and then 13 seconds later it'll move over one WrestleMania.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Like it's
Fat.
okay if I play it through my Xbox, but if I do it through my cable, it's on DSL dial-up internet.
See, I don't have that issue with my TV streaming services. It's pretty fluid. But the next live event is Fastlane
That's it. I knew it
in
was something like
Indianapolis.
Roadblock,
Yeah, some random
some
stupid
bullshit.
thing like that.
It's it,
Uh,
it's just rematches is all it's going to
yeah,
be.
yeah. All right, the two more segments from SmackDown. What's Bailey versus Asuka? Now, the only thing that I took away from this match, and it's been my issue with women's wrestling for a long time, is that do the women not practice or choreograph their matches because their timing on things that they do is so off, and it just doesn't make sense. It's like why women's wrestling, and I'm talking about women's wrestling across the board except for Japan, because Japan has great women wrestling right now. Uh, but across the board, women's wrestling is just bad.
It just doesn't look as fluid.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they
And
not choreograph this kind of stuff
I
properly.
mean, like they're just a bunch of deer in headlights. It looks like they're circling around and running in motion,
Yep.
or. And I think that and also like when it comes to like Asuka, there might be,
Hmm.
even though her English has gotten way better over the last couple
Yeah,
of years, I
I
still
love
think there
Oscar.
could be a language barrier issue there of just, maybe a miscommunication. But
Yeah.
also it's like WWE, like you look at SmackDown this week, it was almost like AEW. There was one women's segment at 9:30, I think.
Hmm. Hmm.
They put nothing into women's wrestling. And then you go over to Raw, and they're making the women's wrestling more about NXT than they are Raw.
Yeah. Well, it's the networks. Or the
Yeah,
year
yeah.
contracts are coming up, and they have to get NXT to sign back up with USA.
But no,
Which
I totally agree with you. Women's
USA
wrestling
is stupid if they don't sign WWE
is.
again. It's their biggest show. But Bailey versus Asuka, they kind of just went like I said, they just had it was just a unchoreographed match, and the finish was Bailey was out in the ring, and then Shotzi comes out, and Shotzi obviously, we all know that kayfabe wise she shaved her head because she went crazy, but reality was because she was supporting her sister who was diagnosed with cancer, which is great, by the way. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, it is.
But she came back and she has like spikes all over her hair, and it just looks. And I use this word again. It was just cringe again. It was just Shotzi just doesn't do it for me. Like she's an attractive woman, outside of wrestling, but as a wrestler, it's just so bad. I don't. She's not a believable character in my
I
opinion.
Here's what with women's wrestling now is that you can see them thinking about what they're doing next before they do it, as opposed to just doing it.
Yes, do you think they put too much time on their character?
Yeah.
I
No,
think
I'm
it
not
kind of.
saying that. But I'm saying like they're over. They're so worried about being in the correct spot that they're not in the correct spot
Yes,
for their matches, and they
correct.
get like convoluted and
Yeah.
botch fest. Like you look at
Now,
Britt Baker, like a lot of these women wrestlers, if they just went down to NXT and stayed in NXT for a year, they'd be so much better
go to the performance center and like practice.
because they're not
Just
getting in the
practice.
work. Because
Yeah,
they're not
exactly.
getting the work on the main roster because they're getting like, and when they do get a match, they get one commercial break, and that first commercial break is entrances, a lockup, goes to the outside, commercial break, comes back, bullshit finish to keep the
Hmm.
storyline going, move on to whatever's happening with the bloodline, blah blah blah.
Yeah. I mean,
There's no thought or rhyme or reason put into it. There's
yeah,
no reason to care.
last week's Rhea versus Raquel. They let them go at it, and it wasn't as fluid as their previous match in the pay per view, but it was still somewhat entertaining because Rhea is a good worker, and Raquel, she's improved a lot since she's came up to the main roster. Raquel,
Oh, I
which
agree.
is great. And last thing I have for SmackDown is LA Yeah versus The Miz.
Yeah.
The match was pretty boring. We've seen this match several times, but
Yeah.
the the,
Yeah.
the cool thing, yeah. The cool thing is that um, LA Yeah called out all the champions,
Every one of
and
them.
every single one of them. Gunther called him
It doesn't
Gunther.
matter if it's Rey Mysterio. It doesn't matter if it's Gunther. It doesn't make a difference if it's Seth Rollins, and it damn sure don't make a difference if it's Roman Reigns. That's what he said.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Which I thought was cool. He needs
Yeah.
that. We need that. Obviously, he's not. I don't think he's getting any of the main belts soon. I'm talking about the World Heavyweight and the Universal, but I can definitely see him possibly taking the belt off of Gunther, and because
He's a
I think
feasible option.
because I think Gunther's is
He
what's
needs to move
scheduled
on
to
up.
win. Well, I think he's scheduled to win the World Rumble. Is from all the dirt sheets with what I read is in him challenging Seth for the title at WrestleMania.
So Seth still has the title, and that means Priest still has his money in the bank.
I mean,
Fuck.
yeah,
That is a
yeah,
long time of more Judgment Day bullshit.
yeah. I think Priest is going to have a failed cash in.
You think so? They've
Yeah,
had so many of those
yeah. I mean, it's.
lately.
I like Priest. Okay, don't get me wrong. I like Priest, um, but from a WWE standpoint, he's just not a main event guy.
No, I liked him in
And
NXT a lot.
yeah, me too. Me
Yeah,
too.
I thought he was badass. He's
I got to
sitting in the
see him
hot
live,
tub with
man.
a bunch of bitches.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
He's like,
Yeah.
I'm here to fuck and win titles.
My name is Fuck, and I like to fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's a great mid carder, but I just don't see him cashing in because I mean, who's he is? He's not gonna obviously he's not gonna cash in on Roman. They're not gonna do the mistake of someone cashing in on a U.S. title like they did with Theory. The only option is to cash in on Seth and just failing, and I think that's what brings down the Judgment Day is that failed attempt.
Yeah, that is possible.
So we'll see. We'll see. There's so much.
Hey, they at any time they can surprise us with something great. That's the thing about
Yeah.
wrestling. I keep watching all this bullshit every week for
All this
this
heartbreak.
like little moment like this past Friday when The Rock comes out. And yes, they can't all be that big, but
Yeah.
I mean, I remember a few years ago, I was sitting in this same house I'm sitting in now, watching Raw with my buddy. They were in Columbus, Ohio. And all of a sudden, The Undertaker came out. And I looked at my buddy, I go, what the fuck is The Undertaker doing at Ohio State? But it was so awesome.
Yeah, of course. I got to see the Undertaker a few times, and the first time I got to see the Undertaker, I didn't know this, and I don't know if they did this everywhere else, but when I saw him here, when he came out, they lowered the AC in the arena, and it was cold.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I don't know if they do that everywhere else, but because they didn't do it at WrestleMania, because obviously because the stadium's too big when they were here for WrestleMania 26, but I saw him there too. But at a SmackDown, Undertaker comes out and it was so cold, and it felt the coldness felt you could feel the entrance because it was so cold. It was so weird.
That's badass.
It was fucking badass.
I saw him
But
wrestle Stone Cold in 1997.
oh man,
That was pretty good. I got to
that's what
see. I got to see The Rock versus Dude Love.
Ugh, don't I here's my hot take. I hate Mick Foley.
You hate Mick Foley?
Never been a fan of Mick Foley. I think he's way overrated. I think if it wasn't for that Hell in the Cell spot, he wouldn't have been as big as he is.
Yeah.
That's just my 2 cents, and I feel the same way about Jeff Hardy. I despise Jeff Hardy. Can't stand those guys.
Uh, Matt Hardy, I don't understand. Me and my brothers, when we watch him wrestle now, we laugh because we don't understand how he physically moves around while his legs don't move. It is
That's great.
it's the damnedest fucking thing I've ever seen, brother.
Yeah. You're right. You're right. I'm picturing him right now. That's why we're.
Yeah. I mean, like when you watch him get off the mat and somehow he like takes his arms and then just propels them. I mean, it looks like a paraplegic getting into a wheelchair off the ground.
Yeah.
And Jeff Hardy, I enjoyed him because in my early high school and middle school days when they were the Hardy Boys in WWF fighting the Dudleys and Edge and Christian, they were awesome. But then once they became shells of themselves and split off, and I was never a big Delete fan of that bullshit.
I just
Matt Hardy version 2.0.
I think what ruined them first of all was splitting them up. First of all, was ruining them, and then the whole Edge Lita Matt Hardy thing is what killed Matt Hardy's career in WWE.
That was bad.
That was brutal. I mean, how do you if that happened at our jobs, like, can you imagine?
Yeah, I know, right?
It's so weird, but that's all in the past. Let's see. What do you think about Monday Night Raw?
I thought Monday Night Raw was abysmal.
Yeah.
Because nothing really progressed.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Let me pull up the. Let's see. All right, because so Raw opens with Dominic Mysterio and Cody Rhodes, and I don't know what they're trying to pay off with this feud, other than for the next month and a half, we are constantly going to get Judgment Day, Jay Uso, KO, and Sammy, and Cody Rhodes in segments every week, multiple different ways of tag teams, or one-on-ones this week. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And leading up to what I guess they're going to do War Games again. I don't know what the end game here is with.
I don't know. I think it's still up there, but can we talk about just the mega heat that Dom has right now?
Yeah, it's heat.
Are you familiar with the term X-Pac heat?
Yes, absolutely.
Do you think it's X-Pac heat or is
no?
It just more
it is heat to boo for the sake of booing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I agree.
They're booing him for his character. They're not booing him because they don't want him on the fucking screen.
Yes. Okay.
But for every person that says that WWE isn't turning down his mic and turning up the crowd,
no,
they're not doing it. I don't understand. Like, I am not an editing genius, never worked in film or editing, but I would know after 1 week of switching the volumes and hearing that it's a noticeable change.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe next week, let's rotate it 50% slower on the turn on the knob so they don't notice. It sounds organic. That's what, other than that, I do think that the place is booing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you saw a few weeks, or what was it, a couple months ago on, the other podcast we watched where Eric said, he was like, I've never booed louder for anyone in my life. Everybody was booing.
Yeah.
So I do believe everyone is booing their ass off.
Yeah, spur of the moment.
But WWE, for some reason, makes it sound unorganic for no reason.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's their downfall is.
But I do think it is awesome. Because if I was there, I would be booing the shit out of them.
Yep. I mean, I did when I was in Mania this past year, and Don comes out. I booed the hell out of him, but I loved it though. But it's just like what Eric said.
Yeah, you're having a fun time.
You're doing it because everyone else is doing it. It's like hating Nickelback. It's like you hate them because everyone hates them. Not me though. I just think they're garbage. But but it's like everyone does it, and you want to do it. You want to be a part of the fun thing that everyone does at Raw, and that's what's great about it. But
Yeah.
yeah, this match and this segment with Cody, beating Dom with
Crossroads.
the
It
crossroads.
was a
It's
short
just
match.
it
Like it
was a
was
very short
like it
match.
wasn't a squash, but it was.
It was and it wasn't, because you still have to keep Dominic somewhat strong because he's the North American champion. But you have to give him a better type of match with versus Cody. At least roll him up or something.
If you're gonna have Balor interfere, at least let that interference lead to
Yes.
Dominic getting a few licks in.
Yeah. Yeah. Or why don't you let Dominic win? If you're gonna keep the feud going, if you're gonna keep fighting
I'm
and,
not a
and
fan
lead
of
it,
roll-ups, but there's a time for a roll-up.
yeah,
With Cody, grab the tights. He gets up all American, pissed off. What the heck?
yeah. Let Dom take a roll up win versus Cody, and if you're gonna continue this rivalry, let them back and forth go. Let them go at it. But Cody wins. I just wrote yawn because I thought it was. I'm over.
Yeah,
I'm over Cody.
I
Well,
am. I'm not over Cody, but I'm over whatever the hell it is he's doing now.
yeah, I think that's what it is. Like, I love his
I
song. Like,
still want him to finish the story.
yeah, I think you nailed it. I misworded what I said. You nailed it right
Yeah,
ahead. I'm over what he's doing now, but I'm not over him yet completely.
because I think he's going to be he's just going to show up on SmackDown one week and say that I was the compensation for Jey
Yeah,
Uso.
yeah. And when do you think that is? After SummerSlam? After Survivor Series? Excuse me. Has to
Probably
be. Has to be, right? Or Crown Jewel? Maybe after Crown Jewel.
somewhere around there, in between the two.
In between the two. Yeah.
Because I only think there's I could be wrong, 2 or 3 weeks in between Crown Jewel and Survivor Series.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe I got it backwards. Maybe it's
Let's see.
whatever's coming up. What was it? Roadblock,
Fast
Payback,
Fastlane
Fastlane.
is October 7th, and uh,
I think Crown Jewel's the
Survivor
end of October.
Survivor Series is November 25th. There's no Crown Jewel on this list.
Hmm.
Oh, because this list is only for America. No, it says Germany. That's weird. Yeah, let's show Crown Jewel on this list. Sunday Stunner? What the hell is that?
Sunday Stunner. I think that they do. That's a house show.
In London, England?
Anytime you have a house show on a Saturday, it's called Saturday Night's Main Event in your arena.
Yeah, but I've never seen Sunday Stunner before, and this was in London. Uh, yeah, Super Show. Yeah, I don't see.
Oh, 11/4. November 4th.
November 4th
So I
is
guess it's like 3 weeks after
November
Fastlane
4th is
and 3 weeks before Survivor Series.
I see November 4th is a Super Show in New York.
In Saudi Arabia, they are announcing John Cena for 11. Oh, now he's what? Am I reading something old?
No.
Where's Crown Jewel?
That's crazy. I don't see it.
I see it as November 11th.
Okay.
Because 3 days ago they announced John Cena for Crown Jewel.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's looking like 11/4. So there's a pay-per-view. Then 3 weeks later, Crown Jewel, then Survivor Series.
I wonder who's not going to go, because there's a house show on November 4th too.
Is there?
Yeah.
I guess probably anyone who just wasn't scheduled to be on the show. Because I read in an article yesterday that there's no longer anyone in WWE that's not willing to go or is banned from going. Like Kevin Owens used to refuse.
Yeah,
And
it's so
Sami Zayn was banned.
Yeah.
but those are both. Kevin Owens is fine with going because Sami Zayn is no longer banned due to their getting something together with Syrian government or something.
Yeah. It's a religious thing.
Less murder.
Yeah. All right. What do we got next for Raw? We had Cody win.
Let's see. After that, the best match on Raw by far. Kofi Kingston versus Ivar.
That was interesting.
Crowd was hot for Kofi Kingston, and Ivar was out there with. I mean, he has incredible agility for a big man.
That moonsault was insane.
Moonsault. I mean, he does a cartwheel out of nowhere. Like I think about being in a wheelchair for the rest of my life if I attempted that.
I mean, when he hit that moonsault, and I thought Kofi was gonna move, which you're right. I thought it was a great match. I just don't understand why give Kofi the win here.
I'm not. I think they're building up to like a triple threat #1 contenders tag team match.
Ooh, okay.
Between Kofi and Woods and McIntyre and Riddle and the Viking. I keep wanting to call them the stupid Viking experience. The Viking Raiders.
The Viking Raiders, War Machine. There always been War Machine.
Yeah, War Machine. What's wrong with War Machine? What the hell?
Marvel threatened.
Oh yeah. All right. What's wrong with War Raiders?
War Raiders. Yeah. I mean, you could have had something different. It's more of the word war. It's like the reason why they removed title shot from the vocabulary because the word shot.
You know they don't call Gunther's shotgun dropkick a shotgun dropkick anymore.
Oh really?
Yeah, Corey Graves goes Tyrannosaurus kick or something. He calls it a T-Rex kick now.
It's so stupid.
Yeah.
I don't like Corey Graves.
No, Corey Graves sucks.
Yeah, he's garbage. But yeah,
He's like Jack Wilson of WWE.
Yeah, he's ass.
All right, let's see. So yeah, they had a big match. Kofi wins.
Kofi wins the Trouble in Paradise, which was for a big man. For Kofi to beat a big man like that, Trouble in Paradise was kind of lame. I would have wished he would have won like, with the chair. Maybe the ref wasn't looking, and he uses the chair. That would be a little more believable than just hitting a normal Trouble in Paradise.
I agree. But, I mean, overall, pretty good match.
Yeah, it was an excellent match.
Yeah. The match of the night, in my opinion.
Yeah, me too.
Next up, we got Shinsuke Nakamura versus Ricochet. I am loving Nakamura's new character.
Well, yeah.
I love his little promos where he just speaks in Japanese. Why they haven't been doing this for years. I love
that. I don't know if I ever mentioned to you, but I'm a huge anime nerd. And just watching him, that whole segment of him having the little manga display when they fought at the pay-per-view last month, that was awesome. That was so awesome. The storytelling and just that whole manga art clip was awesome. But in my notes, I wrote down. Well, no, continue. I'll get to that point when I'll let you know what I wrote down.
Well, basically, Seth Rollins tried to attack Nakamura before the match.
Yeah,
with Ricochet, but Pierce and the security team, that goddamn security team. So
I put down Seth looks like a strong businesswoman.
He looks like a strong businesswoman?
Yeah.
It was like his most subdued outfit in a long time.
Yeah. It was very weird. But he's doing the whole Elton John thing, which I think is great. It's an Elton John tribute, which I think is great, but it's like, come on. You're wearing like tall heel shoes.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of cool at the end how they, did the little steel chair, swapping getting himself disqualified.
I thought that was great.
Yeah.
I thought it brought more character to Ricochet.
It was like it was all part of Nakamura's plan.
Right? It does give you that feeling because Nakamura has been targeting Ricochet, and usually that means if you're a wrestling smark like us, is when they when they target a specific character to bait the other characters because they're transitioning over to the dark side, if you will.
Yeah.
Which is great. But yeah,
Oh
ending
yeah,
the
he
show
got
was awesome.
he got Rollins roped back in to attack him
Yeah.
again, but Nakamura went right after that back.
Yeah.
I don't. I think the back injury is true because he's only wrestled the premium live events
Mm-hmm.
for like the past, I want to say, 5 Raws. I don't think he's wrestled.
I think they as the main
Like he
champion.
wanted to have the match last week. He got real pumped, but Nakamura
Mm-hmm.
just beat the shit out of Ricochet backstage.
One of the things that I do like is when they leave the champions to fight only at pay-per-views. I don't know.
Yeah,
What do you think? What do you think about that? Like, because I know some people like fighting champions when they want to fight at.
I like the fighting mid card champions.
Yes, me too.
Like like John Cena's open challenge every week back in what was it, like 15? That was fucking awesome.
That was so good, man. And then Kevin Owens coming
Kevin
out.
Owens returning. Dude, he had an
Dude.
all-time match against Dolph Ziggler on a Monday Night Raw in May.
Yeah.
That nobody should have gave a shit about. It was fucking awesome.
That match
I
he had with
talk
Sami
about
Zayn.
that match with my buddies to this day.
That match he had with Sami Zayn, Cena and Sami Zayn for the Open Challenge, that was amazing. That was such a great match.
I think Sami Zayn ended up getting injured and was out for like 9 months afterwards.
Yeah, in that match, yeah, because in the next week that's when they had Kevin Owens. But no, I agree with you. I like the mid carders, and I think those are the TV champions, and bring back the old WCW ways. Have those mid carders wrestle the belts and every week, and you leave your main champions for the pay-per-views. It makes the stories more interesting and the fights more impactful.
Here's another thing about open challenges. Stop naming who's accepting the challenge before the champion standing in the ring asking for an open challenge.
Yes.
That takes all the fun out of it.
Yes. I agree 100%.
That's the best part, is that 2-second pause between who's it going to be and the music hitting. And you're like, oh, maybe this motherfucker's got a chance today.
Yep.
Oh, shit.
That's
that Jinder Mahal, where the fuck has he been?
I would pop for Jinder Mahal if he came out, because he looks like $1 million.
He's a fucking beast.
I
am still one of the few guys that enjoyed his championship run, mostly because it pissed everybody off.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But at the same, I thought he had a dope entrance, and he had his own little J&J security and the Singh brothers.
Oh, the Singh brothers,
yeah.
Can we pause for a little bit?
Yeah.
My dog's like going crazy real quick. Give me just 1 second, dude.
Sorry, man.
Hello?
Yo.
Oh, sorry. My dog needed to pee.
Oh, that's cool, dude.
He's peeing.
No, you gotta take care of the pups.
Yeah, he's usually this time is when I walk him out.
Yeah, he's ready.
All right, back to where were we? It's
all right, let's see. All right, next up, we have the shittiest part of the night. So for some stupid reason, the women's tag team champions of Chelsea Green and Piper Niven have a non-title match against Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler. I just, in my opinion, all these women's tag team matches should be for a title. Like, there's nothing else going on with them. if the other team wasn't going to win anyways, it adds to the matches, that maybe the other team could win. But, the BS of, I don't know, the women's stuff's tag team has been booked so poorly over the last couple of years that they give you no reason to care. And on top, anytime, like look, this one, the match is starting to heat up. Nia Jax comes out and starts dismantling everybody and just makes you want to change the channel. And once again, the women's tag team division is treated as second fiddle, so some random single person can get over. I don't get it. It makes no sense to me.
The booking and WWE's just notorious for doing this, and they've done it with every single quote unquote big man or big woman in this case. You bring Nia Jax back, and she obviously beats the crap out of Rhea Ripley, and you have her. You keep calling her the phenomenal force or whatever, but as a Smark that they're not beating the champion. They're just trying to build a story, and it's not believable because, first of all, Nia Jax, I think she gets a little more heat than what people say. I mean, you have wrestlers who have said publicly that she doesn't injure the other wrestlers as people think they do. But if someone has major heat like that, where they don't feel like someone's safe, like why do you keep shoving that person down our throats? The same way, like there's no change in character for Nia Jax, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's like anytime they would build up the Big Show to fight someone at one random pay-per-view called Fastlane in October.
Yeah. Mark Henry
Yeah.
fake retiring for
Hall of Fame. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, to this day, that salmon jacket is all timer.
Yep.
That's actually a really good segment. He had me fooled.
Yeah, me too.
I was watching it going, oh shit, he's retired. Fuck.
It's funny because I just saw that segment. That's why it was fresh in my memory because I just saw it the other day. I was like, oh, this is a pretty good segment.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they that's the thing is like on my notes here I had again with the whole timing. There's a part in the match where Piper is trying to break up Chelsea the pin, and like she's late to it, and it's like how like I don't understand how hard it is to get the timing right.
That's happening a lot lately.
Yeah.
Where the tag team partner, men's and women's matches in all organizations are late for the breakup, and it's making the ref look bad.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think one of the things that goes severely underrated in wrestling today is the ref work. Refs get no kudos for how matches are portrayed. It's always about the wrestlers, but the referees sell the match just as good as the wrestlers do.
Oh yeah, some of them a little too much.
Yeah. Oh, not everyone not named Audrey Edwards. But yeah, I don't think they get enough kudos for how matches are ranked and things like that. But yeah, you're absolutely right. It's hard on the ref. Very hard on the ref.
It's a bad look.
Yes, it is. Yes,
all right, let's see here. What we got next? All right, we got Chad Gable versus Mr. Nice Guy.
Mr. Nice Guy. No.
Bronson Reed.
Mr. Nice Guy.
That's a terrible name.
Bronson Reed.
That's a terrible name too, but it's Mr. Nice Guy.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were talking about Bronson Reed.
Well, yeah, both names suck.
Well,
Bronson Reed could be cool if he didn't look like Bronson Reed does.
Yeah, that's right.
Bronson Reed would be a cool name for Karrion Kross if you didn't know him as Karrion Kross.
Bronson Reed sounds like a cowboy name.
Yeah, yeah.
What do you prefer, Mr. Nice Guy or Shorty G?
I guess I got to go with Mr. Nice Guy. You put me on the spot like that.
Mr. Nice, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I try to look at the best case scenarios sometimes with wrestling because that's what you have to do.
Yeah.
Because then if you keep looking at it from the negative, I think you're gonna have a bad time.
I thought here's where WWE is getting back into their 50-50 booking Chad Gable is one of your hottest baby faces in the company right now.
Yep.
And
By accident.
Yeah. And then you just have him lose to Bronson Reed, who has been losing to Ricochet and Shinsuke for like weeks.
Yeah.
And when I say weeks, he's on the show every 3 weeks losing to one of them, and you don't see him for 3 weeks. And then he shows up and he beats the hottest, probably maybe the hottest babyface on Raw.
Yeah.
If LA Knight's not there.
Yeah. I literally have this on my notes. Reed win ? Why ?
It makes no sense.
It doesn't make any
Reed,
sense at all.
There's no title Reed realistically is going to go after.
Nope.
There's no positive momentum gain for Reed or for Gable by losing. All this does is negatively impact Gable. And it's another one of those times where WWE is dropping the ball and they don't know when to just run with it. Because back in like May with LA Knight, I was like, nah, they're done with, like, there's no way they're going to keep running with this guy at all. Just because that's what WWE does. Somebody gets over on their own, they're toast. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where the speculation is hard to tell if Vince McMahon is really running the show still. Because you can tell there's days where you can tell it's a Vince McMahon run show, or we're just used to it. We're so traumatized by how he runs the show. And then there's days where it looks like, the brighter side of things, where Triple H is running the show, because Vince was really running LA. There's no way LA Knight was going to be this hot and getting this giant push.
No, he was Max Dupree.
Yeah.
Maximum male models.
So, good old Vince McMahon.
Jesus Christ.
Here's the thing about Vince McMahon. If it wasn't for him, brother, we would have never met.
We wouldn't be having this conversation right now. God damn it, pal.
God damn it.
Yeah. You gotta have aggression.
Ruthless aggression.
Ah. Big old grapefruits.
Oh, joy.
Yeah.
Joy.
Trish, suck my cock.
You're part of the Vince McMahon Kiss My Ass Club.
Yeah. The Vince McMahon suck my dick tour.
And don't forget to coddle the balls.
Yeah, coddle the balls and stroke the cock.
Work the shaft.
Yeah, work the shaft. Like your mother used to do.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Oh, shit. I backed out of my raw notes.
It's all good. I wrote mine down on a piece of paper. What you got next, brother?
All right. Becky Lynch versus I change the channel every time I hear this woman's theme music hit. Or I hit fast forward on my DVR.
So this is
Natalia.
This is what I wrote in my notes. Natalia is the Dolph Ziggler of the women's division. She's the one they bring to make everyone look good.
That's pretty good. That's a pretty good assessment.
Yeah. Every single time someone comes up with the new belt, or a newcomer comes up, it's always Natalia who's the first one. And it makes sense. I'm with you with, Natalia is bathroom break material, but at the same time, like, from a professional standpoint, like, she's a good worker.
Oh, she doesn't do the things we were bitching about earlier from the other women's matches.
Yes.
Yeah, she's always in her spot. There's nothing about her that intrigues me.
She has no charisma.
The whole cat thing, I think, is dumb.
But boobs.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know about you, but I'm a sucker for those.
I mean, I'm a sucker for those too, but those things look like goddamn 2 Sunday hams blown up. Goddamn. I'm with you. I'm a big. Sometimes there's the good jobs, and sometimes there's the bad jobs.
Yeah. But I think regardless of the job, it's like cold pizza. It's still pretty good.
You go.
It's still pretty good. Even when it's bad, it's pretty good.
A piece of cold pizza, you're like, give me that titty.
Oh, it's good. Yeah. The finish was pretty lame. I didn't like the finish of that match. Match was pretty boring, looked all around.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean,
it's another one of those vintage roll-ups.
mm-hmm. One of my biggest pet
Because
peeves
hey,
in wrestling.
remember we got to keep Natalia
Strong.
yeah, we got to keep her strong. She's got a big push coming.
One of the biggest things I hate in wrestling, and I see it more, and I don't want to single out AEW, but AEW seems to do it a lot more, where they're just rolling over each other. Like they do that spot where they roll, one person rolls and then they kick out, but they roll up to the other person, and they go back and
Yeah.
forth, and I can't stand that. Roll up is the deadliest finisher in all professional wrestling, and you do
If
that
your
kind of
name's
stuff.
Daniel Bryan,
Yeah,
Bryan Danielson, that used to be his finisher.
yeah,
Legitimately, in the Indies, his finisher was a
yeah.
roll-up.
I remember. It's the American Dragon.
Yeah.
That was his finisher. But yeah, I don't like that. I didn't like the ending. The ending was pretty lame.
Like there's always a time and a place for a good heel roll-up with a good,
Yeah,
tug on the tights,
yeah,
or putting the hands on the ropes or putting the feet on the ropes, something like that.
mm-hmm.
But just these, my problem is you've kicked out of 3 WWE 2K23 signature moves and a
Yeah,
finisher,
yeah.
and the roll-up got you.
Yeah. You're tired, Chet. Have you ever wrestled like that before? I would be tired. I don't want to
I
wrestle
guess
anymore.
so.
I don't
Yeah,
want to wrestle. Just
I
put
don't
me
have
in.
the cardio like I once had. But
That'd be fun to do. I want to wrestle. What else we got? What's the next of these?
let's see here. All right, we got from Imperium, Giovanni Vinci versus Tommaso Ciampa.
Tommaso Ciampa.
I mean,
Uh,
he gave a little promo where he said he intends to win the Intercontinental title, but I wouldn't be mad at it. I just don't see it happening.
Ciampa just he's not a baby face. Let's just face it.
No.
He's not. You you can't build these characters in NXT as these massive heels, and then they come to the main roster and they're the biggest, stupidest baby faces, a la Bobby Roode. You know what I
God
mean?
damn it! What a
Like,
botch!
fuck, what a like Bobby Roode should have been a champion. That
Yes,
guy was built to the moon.
he was
He should have.
glorious.
He, no pun intended. Yes, he was glorious as hell.
Yes, he's
And
awesome. His promos were great. Everything
man,
about him. He's a great wrestler. I liked him from Impact when he was Beer Money, TNA. Beer Money.
Beer Money. Yep, he was great at TNA. And he went. Bobby Roode. He's one of those wrestlers that if it sounds like you watch TNA a lot. Watching Bobby Roode come from nothing to Beer Money, and then his singles run there, and then being in the crowd of NXT was just like one of those proud dad moments. Like you see him through your whole life, even though he's older than us. Like you
Yeah.
see him growing and getting better and better and better, which is so awesome. And then just to get shit on the main roster was just God
No,
so
to be treated like a king on the way out,
yeah
on the way in,
on the way in.
and then
Well,
they bring. Oh my God, what a botch!
he doesn't sell merchandise. What do you want from me?
One of the greatest entrances of all time, in my opinion.
Yeah, 100%.
Top 20 for sure.
I still get chills when I see his entrances from NXT. When he's coming down from that scaffold, that thing, whatever it's called,
Yeah.
and
And then they got
so
like the
good.
little piano thing
Yeah,
underneath on the whole stage.
yeah. I mean, he's
Yeah.
in 2K22. It's my entrance for my character,
Oh, no.
my own, the character that I made of myself. That's my entrance. It's the
Oh,
glorious
okay.
entrance because I love it so much. But yeah, the finish was great for that match. The finish was great. We have Vinci uh, slingshotting from the rope and Ciampa hitting him with the knee was like
Yeah, that was
perfect
pretty good.
timing. It was perfect timing, and it goes back to like what we're saying about the women's. It's like the timing isn't there for the girls, but for the men, like they're on par. Like they're just not on par, excuse me, but they're on point with their timing. It's great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like
I agree.
if you have the timing perfected with the women's, those women matches would be great in my opinion.
Oh, because there's been some great women's matches where their
Yep.
timing is perfect,
Look
but
at
it's also because it's for like a big match at a pay-per-view where they've worked on it.
mm-hmm.
Like I just don't think that there's far along to just put the match together that day.
Yeah. They
But
also don't get
you
that
give
much
them
time.
like 3 weeks to work on all your off days going through it.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day, the Macho Man, he went through every move through the match. Every move. He was like, we're going to lock up, and then I'm going to throw you in the corner, and then I'm going to punch you in the face. And then every move down to the eye poke, kicking out at 2, everything. And he had it down.
Yep. Yeah, that's why he was one of the greatest to ever do it. Love the Macho
But here's
Man.
the thing with Ciampa. WWE, if they're not going to push him as a single, and if they're not going to push him as a heel single, which is the only way I feel like they should push him.
Agreed.
Where the fuck is Johnny Gargano?
I think they're waiting.
Let's get if he's not going to be a heel, that's the only face I want to see.
Yeah, I agree. Now, here's the problem with that is although I agree with you bringing DIY to the roster soon, who are you going to waste it on if it's not going to be at Mania? You know what I mean? Like I would prefer them to have their first match that's going to be a banger at Mania as opposed to just some random Monday Night Raw or some low end.
No, I agree with that.
Some low end, pay per view because Survivor
Fastlane?
Series. Yeah.
You ever heard of a little shitty show called Fastlane?
Yeah. Yeah. What's the premise of Fastlane? I don't know.
Rematches from Payback.
Rematches for rematches.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why I see. Like I see if you're gonna bring DIY because that's what everybody wants. We all want DIY. You have to do it big. You have to do it against someone who's gonna put them. I wouldn't say maybe they won't be going over, but someone who's gonna put them in a 5-star match. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. It would have been awesome if you had DIY versus the Usos.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That would have been a banger, but can't get that. But we'll see.
I mean, they're either saving Uso versus Uso for Mania,
Which
or
I think they are.
Jey Uso went to Raw just to fake turn face, just to turn back for the bloodline later on because there's now no continuity with this bloodline story. They're just flip flopping every other week on how they want to roll with it. So at any drop of the hat now, they could just change course. You don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But all right, so now we got the main event. Scottish Warrior, who is, in my opinion, slowly transferring into the Scottish Psychopath.
Which I love.
Yes. I wish he'd go back to his NXT theme, which was way more sinister than his theme now.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. Had like more of a heavy metal. It was awesome.
Yep.
And the bagpipes hit hard.
Yes.
Let's see. Yes. All right, so before the match, Uso was approached by Priest backstage because they're still trying to get him to join the Judgment Day.
Mm-hmm.
Blah, blah, blah. We know that's not going to happen. If anything, they're just going to keep having some buffoonery that pisses off Kevin Owens where he thinks he is. But, Scottish Warrior, McIntyre, Jay, they had a pretty good match.
Yeah, I thought it was
Judgment
great.
Day, they get involved later on. They come to ringside to support Jay, even though he didn't ask them to be there. And then, when everyone on Judgment Day got on the apron, talked to Uso, he hit him with all super kicks. And then McIntyre hit a Claymore to win. This was pretty much what everybody thought is how every Judgment Day main event goes, where they're involved some form or fashion. They get involved. Someone shenanigans. The thing's over. Are you going to join us? Are you not going to join us? Who fucking knows? Who fucking cares?
I think they did it too fast. Like, give me 1 or 2 more weeks of build up to see if I'm going to betray Sammy and go with Judgment Day. I mean, we all know that he wasn't going to go with the Judgment Day, but at least give us a few more weeks to let that build up come up a little bit more.
I do like Jay's facials when anybody comes up and asks him, like, what's going on? Will you want to join us? He's looking around to see if somebody's watching.
Yeah.
He's always looking over his shoulder.
You see, the Usos have come a long way, man.
Yeah.
A long way. I enjoyed this match for what it was. The Claymore at the end was I thought was brutal. I thought it looked pretty good. Because the distraction of the Judgment Day wasn't as annoying, even though I like the Judgment Day, but they weren't really annoying as much this time. The one thing that I would change from this whole segment is that when Cody comes out for the save, I would have wished that him and Drew would have bumped into each other. Like, you know, Cody comes out running and he kind of like bumps into Drew, and then you start building Drew as a, because in wrestling, you know, for the stupidest reasons, and she's a bitch. Nails are like, you look at me funny, I'm gonna fuck you up. This would have been perfect. Like,
there's a little tension.
Yeah, it's a little
something to think about going into next week.
It's all the testosterone flowing around. You shove me a little bit, I'm gonna kick your ass down, like in front of all these millions of people. That would have been a good. I
do like the direction McIntyre's character's heading, though.
Me too. They need more heels.
He needed to change up bad.
Yeah, for sure. It's gone way stale. The one thing that I don't like what he does is the 3-2-1 count for the Claymore. I don't like it. Never liked it. He needs to get rid of it.
I'm not really a fan of it. I could take it or leave it.
Because if it was a real fight, if I hear someone counting to 3, I'm running. I'm running away.
I'm like, oh shit, I got 3 seconds to get away. Fuck, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here. Yeah, but
I didn't know we were playing hide and seek.
Roll out of the way, something, man. But no, everyone seems to run into that Claymore after that.
Dude, his last 2 Claymores, the one he had on Woods last week was awesome.
Oh, it was brutal. So good.
That match last week was the best match of last week.
Yeah, it was good. Woods is another person we can talk so much about.
I thought when they made him King Woods, he was going to turn on Kofi. No.
Should have turned.
What a fucking mark I am.
You don't say. You fucking smart.
Yeah. Every time I think I got it figured out, I don't know a fucking thing.
Yep. But yeah,
that's Monday Night Raw. It's the first Monday Night Raw of the TKO Holdings Group era.
Oh, you're right. It was
only 49% owned by Vince McMahon this week.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing was last week's Raw was way better.
Yeah.
Last week's Raw's production was like the camera work was different than it had been.
Yeah, they just wanted to go out in the bed with the
bang. Because the new group's coming in. So even though it was still the last day of McMahon last week, I could just tell the difference between that opening segment between KO and Jey Uso.
Mm-hmm.
Just the way they did the entrances. They weren't doing all that bullshit CGI up in the air for as many people as they normally do. They still had it for some. But they had like different camera angles than they normally did. And they held the camera angles longer. It wasn't going to like 30 different shots in a 5-second span to where you're about to have a seizure. Like when Jay and KO were talking to each other, they were having a conversation. It wasn't strobe lights going on. That's because that's what me and my brother equate it to. Sometimes you'll watch a match and they'll hit a mistletoe drop kick off the top rope and you've seen 6 angles from it before either guy's hit the ground.
It's like the old WWE games for like the GameCube
those were
or something.
bad.
You would hit a your finisher knows 3 different times from different angles, like you just said. But good news is SmackDown is here this Friday. I'm still debating on going. The only reason why
Oh,
I'm
it's in
debating is
Phoenix?
it's in Phoenix.
Oh, shit.
It's the reason why I'm debating on going because I'm not a fan of going to things by myself, and no one really wants to go with me.
Ah.
My son goes, but he's working. So
Hey, you got your son has a job. That's good.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's in
Yeah, it'd be hard to go.
Phoenix.
I went to one wrestling show by myself. I went to see AEW in March of last year because I wanted to see CM Punk.
Mm-hmm.
And I went by myself. I had a good time. Like I ended up chatting with all the people around me, but like when you don't go to a show with like one of your boys or something, it's like it was kind of awkward at first.
Yeah.
Until all the booze kicked in for everybody, then we were all one happy section.
See, I have a resting asshole face, so I'm not approachable at all.
No.
So those are hard. Going to events like that on myself is hard. But I don't know. We'll see. I might find someone to go, and I'll be honest because I want to go because Cena's doing this whole 2 month spread of shows.
Yeah.
So, and he's doing house shows too, so that'd be cool to see.
Absolutely, dude. Hell yeah. I would probably go.
Yeah, so that's Raw, that's SmackDown, that's football.
That's football. You know what? I think that's the first episode of Sofa King Smarks.
So fucking smart.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I am Chet Vonchesky, and you are.
I am. Sometimes I'm Hoovy. Sometimes I'm just the asshole.
Hey, but you're our asshole.
And everyone loves our asshole.
Yeah. 3 types of people in this world, Chuck. Dicks, pussies, and assholes. All right, dude.
Great. That's great. All right,
we got to end on that one right there.